Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome to Saintess of the Golden Bow demo. Thank you to the developer for the code access for this demo here. Isekai'd, otome. Let's go. Just my luck. Why is that be pouring now? I want to go home. Please soak by the time I reach the subway. I run down the street holding my bag over my head in a futile attempt to block the rain. I do my best to stay underneath the shop awnings. The cars speeding down the street, however, kick up puddles that shower me in rainwater. I am ill prepared for such weather. I didn't even take a hoodie with me, let alone an umbrella. The damp cold seeps into my body, making me shiver. This day sucks. My boss yelled at me again. I had to cover for my sick coworker on top of doing my phone tasks. An office job sucks. I recently graduated from college and got this boring job where all I do is call people to sell them beauty products. Adult life sucks. It didn't take me long to tire of the monotony of adult life. I just want to curl up under a blanket and read web novels. Being the heroine of a fantasy romance novel would be such an amazing life, fighting to save a kingdom from impending doom with magical powers and falling in love with a hottie. Thinking about what to read next, I run through the crosswalk. What? By the time I notice the light is actually red, not green, it's too late. I'm in the middle of the crosswalk with the truck driving straight at me. Should I take a step back or run forward? Quick! Thanks, Celine! Take a step back, but it's too late. Ah! It hurts! The pain! It's excruciating! My body hurts so much. Until I suddenly stop feeling anything anymore. The absence of pain brings me relief. I let my life go. Next thing I know, I'm floating in a cotton-like substance. I feel comforted, safe even. I really died? Am I in heaven now? I want to read the last chapter of my favorite author's new web novel. I'll never find out what happens to the heroine in the end. Chuckle escapes me, a loud sound in this quiet place. I'm pathetic, aren't I? I died, and now I'm just thinking of my hobbies, not my parents or my friends. Not that I had a great relationship with anybody anyway. I was quite a loner. What's that sound? In the emptiness, I can hear someone singing in an angelic voice. It's calling to me. You must fight on. I must? But I'm dead. I don't have to do anything. Suddenly I feel a pull. My soul gets grabbed and yanked towards a golden whirlpool. I scream, but no sound comes out of my mouth. Close my eyes, the shifting reality around me making me feel dizzy. When my senses return to me again, the first thing I notice is the fresh scent of a forest. Open my eyes and look around. I'm in the middle of the woods. Lush canopies of trees above me sway gently in a light breeze. There is something heavy in my hand, and when I look down, I see that I'm holding a simple hunting bow. My feet, clad in riding boots, sink into the damp green moss of the forest floor. I'm out hunting, I realize. Wait, how is this possible? I just died! It's been ages since I handled a bow. The last time I practiced archery was in middle school, back when my parents could still afford to spoil me. I haven't put on such high boots today for work, or these fancy pants, or this jacket. It looks almost like it belongs in the Korean webcomic. Who am I? Celeste? Where are you, Celeste? Somehow I suddenly realize I'm supposed to be hiding. Hiding from what or whom? I don't understand. I only know I must seek cover. The urge to disappear from sight is so strong that I don't even question it. I find a thicket of bushes and dive into them, not caring that my outfit will get dirty and torn. In my hiding spot, I observe the situation, holding my breath. A handsome man with red hair tied back in a ponytail runs towards me. He's wearing some sort of fantasy armor, and he has two thin swords on his hips. I recognize this person. This man is my knight, Levi Parim. Wait, I don't have a knight. I'm Celine, a 20-year-old simple American office worker, fresh out of college with a job in sales. Is that really the whole truth, though? Levi turns left and right, searching for me. Celeste, please come out. Failing to discover me, he runs off. I recognize this guy's looks from somewhere, and the name Celeste is familiar too. Oh no, I couldn't have. Did I get reincarnated? Here? Out of all the books or games that could have been the setting for my reincarnation, why did I have to end up in the BL tragic fantasy web novel? Why this one? Saint of the Golden Bow is the work's name. It was recently adapted to a webcomic, that's how popular it was. The book used to be one of my favorites, but the world of the story, it's not a nice place to live. There's a war going on with the Demon Queen, and Celeste might not be reincarnated as her. What I just witnessed was the opening scene of the book, before Levi is chosen to become the titular saint. He goes out hunting with his unrequited love, the lady he's serving. He's supposed to protect Celeste, but he loses sight of her at some point. An ungodly sound makes the hairs on my skin stand up. The creature that made the sound appears to my right. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. An abomination. A demon. The imp's leathery wings flap in the air, then the creature flies towards me. It has spotted me. This is the moment when Celeste de Quer dies a miserable death to become part of Levi's tragic backstory. But I just died for being hit by a truck. I don't want to die again. Especially not a scripted event where I'm supposed to just fade away so I can serve as part of someone else's tragedy. Not doing anything to save myself is not like me at all. The imp is still far enough away for me to attempt to save my life. I attack quickly. The monstrosity is coming closer and closer. My hands are sweaty and my arms are shaking. I refuse to give up. Shoot the demon with the bow. In my hands I hold the key to my salvation. I pull out an arrow, draw back, and aim at the imp that's flying straight at me. Take a breath and release it, remembering what I was taught in middle school about archery. I'm sure of my shot and know I can't delay any longer and send the arrow flying. The arrow hits the demon straight in its ugly little head. The final frightening sound of the monstrosity falls to the ground. I breathe heavily, collapsing to my knees. I did it! Then I pulled up fist against the ground, feeling the damp moss beneath my fingers. I breathed deeply again, taking in the smells of the gorgeous forest. They calmed me down. I'm alive. Tears rolled down my cheeks. I was terrified, but I survived. Celeste! Levi comes running towards me. When he sees the imp dead a few steps away from me, and the bow still grasped in my hands, a gasp of surprise escapes his lips. Celeste, what happened? Did you kill this demon for yourself? I nod, for a moment entertaining the thought that I am indeed Celeste, not Celine. I open my mouth to explain the situation, but my voice sounds raw and shaky. I killed demon. I finally managed to whisper. Levi walks up to me and kneels down before me. My lady, can you walk? I give this question some thought, but I feel so weak. I wipe my tears away. I don't think so. I'll carry you. No, there's no need for— Levi takes me in his arms bridal style. The bow slips from between my fingers. Our close proximity is so embarrassing. I want to hide my face, but I can only do so against his chest, which is a less than ideal option.
My bow!
Don't worry about the weapon. I will return for your bow later. Right now, it's of utmost importance that I carry you back to the safety of the mansion.
But it's—
I still protest. Levi gives me a glare.
No buts. Let me do my job, for once.
I let alongside and stop resisting. Levi walks towards where we left our horses, or so my memory Celeste recalls. So I really am Celeste now? I'm part of the world of the Saint of the Golden Bow, but I was supposed to die, so what will my survival mean for the story now? All washed up, my lady. After an awkward bath where I had to let my maid, Linda, wash me, I'm finally dressed in a nightgown and allowed to rest. My body feels weak, the shock of dying, reincarnating, then almost dying again, finally taking its toll on me. A loud yawn escapes my lips, I cover my mouth. I'm gonna lie down. Is there anything else you need from me? Oh, I forgot I'm supposed to formally dismiss Linda whenever I want to be alone. She's Celeste's servant, after all. I'm good for now. I'll call for you later if I need anything. Alright, my lady. Linda curtsies before me, and then she exits the room. I sink into the softness of the mattress, taking a good look around the room. This place is an undeniably expensive, polished, fancy look. Somebody has tried very hard to make the atmosphere more feminine, and I know it wasn't Celeste. The Celeste the book mentions is quite the tomboy, carrying little for girly things like dolls and decorations. She doesn't have good social skills, she lacks proper knowledge of etiquette, and she dances like an elephant. Said she's great at archery, hunting, and riding horses. However, this society deems all of those activities inappropriate for a lady, and thus she doesn't have many friends. It sounds so much like me in my past life. The only two people who really like Celeste are Levi, who, for some reason that isn't really explained in the book, adores his lady, and Celeste, are you alright? Celeste's twin sister, Eurydice. The book also briefly mentions Eurydice as part of Levi's backstory, simply describing her as the more ladylike twin who loves pink and romance novels. I feel Celeste's emotions for Eurydice in my heart, though. Celeste really cherishes her sister. Celeste? Eurydice notices that I'm staring at her with a faint smile on my face. I'm alright. Thanks for worrying about me. She rushes over to my bed, fixing the pillow under my head and helping me sit up. Well, of course I'm worried about you. You're my beloved sister. What would I do if I lost you? Levi was with me. Nothing bad could have happened to me under his protection. You think I don't know how you always run off from Levi during your hunts, making excuses that you have to be alone because he's stomping too loud, scaring your prey off? Busted. I know that is exactly what Celeste has always done. Suddenly I wonder if Celeste somehow realized Levi was in love with her and has just been trying to avoid the awkwardness of his puppy-like adoration. Her feelings in the matter are unclear to me. I'm not sure. You got me. Did you split from Levi this time too, sister? I did. Figures. Eurydice lets out an annoyed sigh. I give her a wide smile, enjoying our conversation despite her chastising me. Really like having a friend whom I can talk to freely. I really would like to know what happened today, though. Levi babbled about something about a demon? I'd like to know more, too, for the matter. Father walks into the room without knocking or otherwise warning us of his presence. He has a stern look on his face, but that's just his usual expression. The joy I feel at talking to Eurydice momentarily evaporates. New emotions from Celeste surface in my heart. Her father has always made her feel lesser, inadequate. I review her memories of him and curse inwardly. To say her father favors Eurydice wouldn't at all capture the severe inequality of the situation. During some of their past interactions, he has been outright abusive, belittling Celeste and calling her names. I stiffen my spine, sitting up straight. It took so much shit as Celine, I'm not gonna do it again as Celeste. What happened today that's left you so disheveled? Look down at myself. The only blemish in my appearance is a scratch on my knee from where I hid in the bushes. The mark is so small that I didn't even notice it while bathing. Otherwise, I'm wearing a fresh nightgown and all cleaned up. There's nothing disheveled about me. I give Father a defiant look. As you can see, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Father huffs. You and your sister's 18th birthday is in 3 days. We're leaving for the capital the day after tomorrow. If you're not healed up and in top form by then, we have been running by tomorrow. My body feels tired and heavy, but it's nothing of it is sleep can't fix. I see Eurydice scoot slightly to the left as if taking a step away from Father's negative energy. You'd better be. I don't want you to ruin the golden bow ceremony for your sister. You're banned from leaving the mansion for the next 3 days. I open my mouth to tell him off, but my eyes land on Eurydice. She shakes her head slightly. To honor her wishes, I decided not to agitate Father any further. Alright. I nod. I don't feel like going hunting or horseback riding anyway. Someone would quickly notice I'm not as good as those activities as Celeste should be. I'm still not sure how much of her skills I can access for myself. Levi sent me in front of himself on his horse to return us to the mansion earlier, so I have no idea if I actually know how to ride a horse myself. I rode a horse once or twice as Celine when I was a kid, not nearly enough to match Celeste's experience. Now tell me what happened. I killed a demon. Both Father and Eurydice gasped in surprise. You what? Levi said you two had an encounter with a demon, but I assumed he was the one to kill it. I shake my head and smile. I shot an imp with my bow. What was such a monstrosity doing in the middle of the Lokari Empire lands or far from the war farm? The imp was conveniently there to kill Celeste for Levi's tragic backstory. I wanted to tell the truth, but of course I won't. Father and Eurydice would take me for a mad woman if I babble about them being characters from a novel. I don't know, but the monster attacked me, so I killed it. I struck like my actions were nothing out of the ordinary. After all, in the face of danger, it's kill or be killed. Father sits down on the chair next to the entrance of my room and hides his face in his hands. I knew my daughter wasn't much of a noble lady, but this? He mumbles loudly enough for both Eurydice and I to hear him. My sister and I share a smile. Where was your knight when the demon attacked you? To choose my words carefully, I don't want Levi to take the blame for my actions. I ran off on him again. I wanted to hunt on my own. Of course. Let's all alongside, like I'm burdening him more than he can bear. My body takes this moment to remind me how tired I am. A big yawn escapes my lips. I cover my mouth with my hand. Rest. Father gets up and gestures for Eurydice to leave. Eurydice nods and walks behind him out of the room. She turns back to me when she's in my doorway and gives me a warm smile. Get some rest. I'll be back later. I return her smile and sink more deeply into the bed, making myself comfortable. It doesn't take long for me to fall into a dreamless slumber. When I wake up again, the rays of morning sun pour into my room. Get out of bed and stretch to make sure my body is working properly. I feel refreshed after my long sleep. No more weakness in my limbs. Everything's in order again. I walk to the desk and sit down. I take a fresh sheet of paper. I hesitate when I realize there's only a quill for writing, but I won't be stopped. I produce a few scratchy letters. My handwriting looks horrible. It seems I can't directly access Celeste's skills after all. That's quite inconvenient. I managed to write with a quill, but not very well, and only in English, of course. To write down everything I knew about the web novel Saint of the Golden Bow so I could organize my knowledge of the world and line up with Celeste's memories. Scratchy handwriting or not, I need to sort out all my assets. I'll start with the basics. Saint of the Golden Bow is a romance tragedy fantasy web novel by the Korean web novelist Hanuel Kim. I read the English translation on one of my favorite web novel and comic apps. The story was supposed to be turned into a webcomic and have promo art, which is how I was able to recognize Levi immediately. His design of the artwork even had him in the same outfit he was wearing the day of the demon attack. Maybe I should also write down what a web novel is. What a web novel is. What a web novel is? I scratched down the web novel in big letters. Since the beginning of the 21st century, web novels have been immensely popular in South Korea. A web novel is a novel first published on the internet. It grows to have a very specific narrative form. Readers unlock chapters and interact with what they are reading by posting comments. So web novels tend to be very long. Saint of the Golden Bow was an exception. It wasn't that long of a book, but it still got over 100 chapters. It was translated to English and published on one of my favorite web novel and comic apps. I was grateful to have the chance to read in English, as I don't know Korean. What a webcomic is. I penned down webcomic in big letters on my sheet of paper. Webcomics are often adaptations of web novels. Each episode is published on a reading app as a long vertical strip. Some even feature music composed specifically for the chapters, but those are rare. Unlike other Asian comics like manga, webcomics are in color. They are published digitally too, though sometimes they also end up being printed as books. There's a very popular genre of webcomics right now called otome isekai'd. In those stories, a girl from Earth dies and is reincarnated as a character in a visual novel or web novel. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Had that long sigh. I've been isekai'd, haven't I? Not as a villainous though. A bad character, like in most of those stories. Instead, I'm what is referred to as an extra, an insignificant character. Maybe that's for the best. After all, being a minor character means I couldn't have messed up the story too much by avoiding my planned death in the plot. Only time will tell. What BL is? I scribbled BL on the paper. Boys' love is a genre of Asian media that centers around relationships between two men but is geared towards the female audience. It's romantic and simply wonderful to watch two men fall in love with each other. I'm really such a simp for good BL romance. Got the basics, that's enough. I get up for a moment and wander over to the mirror, touch a hand to the glass. The design of Celeste wasn't included in the promo art. I'd taken my new features, purple hair, pink eyes, a slender figure. There's no denying it, I'm really not Celine anymore. The understanding that I have reincarnated into novel finally settles in my mind. I feel calm, calmer than I ever thought I would be if something out of a novel suddenly changed the course of my life. There's no fighting the reality, is there? As strange as this situation is, I'm Celeste. I have her memories, but somehow I'm Celine as well, equipped with knowledge of this world that Celeste never had. I'll walk back to the desk and sit down to continue organizing my thoughts. Maybe after I process everything, I'll break down and cry about my fate. Right now, however, I don't feel like moping around. Instead, I want to fight for a better fate. Back to the scene of the Golden Bow. The book starts with Celeste's death event. Levi was in love with his lady for years, but the actual love interest of the story is Prince Noah. Celeste has to die at the beginning of the book to make Levi feel at his lowest when the Golden Bow chooses him as the saint. Why didn't Celeste save herself if she was said to be so great at archery? Must be book logic. She had to die for the story and the scene of the Golden Bow to proceed the way it did. Soon as Celeste's death, Levi's quest to save the Lokari Empire from the Demon Queen begins. However, he doesn't go alone. Noah, as well as High Priest Elijah, the second love interest, both accompany him on the journey. Noah and Levi fall in love, Elijah falls in love with Levi too, but Levi chooses Noah. When the final confrontation with the Demon Queen happens, the love Noah and Levi share is an important component of defeating the Fiend. Through their love, the magic of the weapon becomes stronger. However, the story is a tragic one. Even though Levi defeats the Demon Queen, he perishes in the process. Noah and Elijah live on, and peace returns to the Lokari Empire. I remember crying at the end of the book and cursing the author for writing such a beautiful yet heart-wrenching tale. I reread the novel twice. Saint of the Golden Bow is really one of my favorite stories. I still appreciate being reincarnated into this world, though, especially now as Celeste, whose whole only purpose in the story is to add angst to Levi's life. Didn't die when I was supposed to, though, and now the story is continued regardless. I wonder how many things will change because Celeste is alive. Can Levi still fall in love with Noah despite the fact that I'm still here? Ugh, I really want my ship to sail and for the boys to get together, but I don't know if the outcome is possible under these circumstances. If Levi and Noah don't fall in love at the end of the quest, will Levi still be able to defeat the Demon Queen? I shudder. What if I've broken the story beyond repair by avoiding my demise? What was I supposed to do though? Just roll over and die? That's so not like me. I'm a fighter. Maybe I can change the story even further so that Levi can still survive the final encounter? I have no idea how to make this plan work. Maybe opportunities to influence the world further will present themselves to me? After all, though the thought is chilling, what happens here isn't just a web novel story. Saint of the Golden Bow is my new reality. On the day of Celeste and Eurydice's 18th birthday, Father takes us to the capital to attend the Golden Bow ceremony. Levi had his 18th birthday a few days ago as well. Since he's of lower standing than the Count's family, Father got the approval of the church for Levi to attend our ceremony together with us instead of his own a few days earlier. Your knight has to guard you at all times, Father said to Celeste before I reincarnated into her body. After the encounter with the imp, he's become even more convinced that Levi shouldn't leave my side. Not that Levi is complaining about having to stick close to me for obvious reasons. Now Eurydice, Levi, and I sit in the middle of the chapel in the royal palace in Solus, Lokari Empire's capital. Behind us are the many other people who will be tested. Before us, the high priest Elijah Soren takes a place behind the titular Golden Bow, the fabled artifact that will choose the saint one day. Now that day will be today, since Levi is the one who will be chosen. I eye the bow with suspicion. Light reflects off its gold-covered surface. The design is pretty and elaborate. Looks like a pain in the ass to use as a weapon, though. Too ornamental for my taste.
We are all gathered here today to see if the Golden Bow, the weapon given to us by our Lord to help us one day defeat the vile Demon Queen, will finally choose its saint. On this beautiful morning, when the sun's rays fall through the windows of our chapel, let us give our gratitude to the Lord. He has given us means to end the war that has been raging for so many decades.
I have never been particularly religious, even in my past life. Especially don't believe in the fantasy god, but...
Let us give our gratitude.
Let us give our gratitude.
Eurydice and Levi bow their heads and say the words of a prayer. Along with all the other people in the hall, I mumble the words as well.
Let us give our gratitude.
I don't want to draw suspicion to myself, after all.
20 years ago, the blessed blacksmith was bestowed with the Lord's inspiration and crafted the golden bow. He worked tirelessly day and night until finally he completed the artifact. Ever since then, the people of the Lokari Empire have sought to be tested on the day of their 18th birthday by the golden bow. The artifact will choose its wielder. That person will become the saint and be tasked with defeating the Demon Queen, who has terrorized our borders for 23 years.
I'm glad Elijah reminds us of the history of the bow. I've forgotten some of the details.
I will now call forth today's attendees to be tested. Each of you just needs to touch the golden bow once, and its judgment will be bestowed on you.
Elijah takes out a sheet of paper and reads the first name from the list. Eurydice Dequer, daughter of Count Dequer. Dequer. Eurydice approaches the bow. She puts a hand on the artifact. Nothing happens. Of course, what else did I expect? Levi is the saint of the golden bow. Levi is the saint. The golden bow only glow for him. Crown appears on the high priest's brow, so he reads the next name. Celeste Dequer, daughter of Count Dequer. Take a deep breath and step onto the podium. Remind myself I shouldn't expect anything. I put my hand on the weapon. For a moment, nothing happens, but then the bow glows, its light getting brighter and brighter with each second. The light feels scorching hot. I close my eyes, worrying I'll go blind if I don't. You must fight on! I hear the angelic voice again. Was the bow the one speaking to me when I reincarnated? Or was it the god of light himself? The thought that I may have been addressed by a deity is frightening. No, gods aren't real. You're not religious, Celine. Golden bow. The burning light makes my skin feel like it's on fire, so I take my hand away from the bow. My hand continues burning, the searing pain climbing up my arm into my chest. Ah! I scream. My head is spinning. The pain is too much for me to handle. I wanted to stop. Stop! I'm on fire! I'm dying! Not again! Lady Celeste! Sister! Viva and Eurydice are calling to me, but I don't have the strength to respond. My consciousness fades, darkness taking me into its comforting embrace. Ugh, I feel so groggy. I'm in the guest room of the apartment that was assigned to our family when we first arrived at the palace for the ceremony. The impersonal decor makes the place feel cold and unwelcoming. I know the room is supposed to look grand and elegant, but I don't feel at home here at all. Lady Celeste can't be the Saintess of the Golden Bow. The role is too dangerous for her. I turn my head to the left. Levi and Eurydice stand by the door. Neither of them notice I'm awake. Just imagining her going on the dangerous quest to defeat the Demon Queen makes me terrified for her life. We have to stop the church and Empress from declaring her to be the Saintess. Levi. It's not for us to decide who the Saintess is. Neither is it the choice of the church or the Empress. It's the God of light who singled out Celeste to be the savior of our empire. This must be some kind of mistake. Levi, you're committing blasphemy here. You can't go against God's wishes. But Lady Celeste is... Look, I know you're worried for my sister, but please mind your words. If someone other than me hears your opinion about God's choice, you may get in trouble. So, I really am the Saintess of the Golden Bow. I speak up, not believing my own words. Levi and Eurydice turn to me. Eurydice runs up to the bed and takes my hand in hers. Celeste, you're awake. How are you feeling? Fine, I think, just a bit tired. Really scared us in the chapel. You screamed like someone was tearing you apart. The light of the bow entering my body felt like it was burning me. Sounds horrible. Tears will open Eurydice's eyes. I squeeze her hand, trying to comfort her. I glance behind her to where Levi still stands by the door. He has a defeated look on his face. When he notices me watching him, he finally approaches the bed, standing behind Eurydice. I can't be the Saintess. It was supposed to... I cut myself off when I realized I almost just said that Levi was supposed to be chosen as a saint. Can't tell them what happens in the book. They don't even know they live in a fictional world. For some inexplicable reason, the Golden Bow, or the God of Light himself, has chosen me instead as the savior of the Lokari Empire. Why me? I ponder out loud. I'm so confused. I don't want to be the Saintess. Why has the story suddenly changed so much? I only did my best to survive. Did the fact that I wasn't slain by a demon really cause such a severe butterfly effect? Or had I already been chosen at the moment of my reincarnation? I remember the angelic voice of the bow sounding just like the voice I'd heard after dying in the accident in Celine. I'm sure you'll do fine. You're excellent at archery. Eurydice smiles through her tears, trying to reassure me. I'm not as confident about my fighting skills as Eurydice is. Celeste may have been good at the bow, but I can't access her full abilities. Judging by my handwriting, I can only manage the bare minimum of what she can do. I'm not proficient in any of her skills. I only know how to use the bow somewhat from my experience as Celine in middle school. Oh, this whole situation is so depressing. No, I mustn't lose heart. I have to stay strong and face my fate head on. What's going to happen to me now? The Empress has summoned you for an audience 3 hours from now. What does the Empress want with me? Eurydice wipes her tears away. She didn't say, but we think she intends to personally congratulate you on your new role. Alright, I suppose I should start getting ready then. First, High Priest Elijah requested to check on you as soon as you woke up. Check on me? With his light magic, he wants to see if your body and mind are alright after being touched by God's grace. I'm feeling okay, but I suppose I shouldn't turn away a member of the church. Not complying with the witches might be dangerous now that I'm somewhat part of their organization. Reality is so overwhelming that I would really prefer to be alone now, but there's no time for me to mull over what has happened. The chance to break down will come later after everyone goes to sleep. Okay, if you tell the High Priest, I will see him. Oh, go bring him here. Levi turns around and walks out of the room in long strides. Eurydice gives me a comforting smile. Everything's gonna be okay. I hope so too. Silence falls between us, but it's a cozy, warm kind of quiet. I get the feeling that no matter what happens, Eurydice will support me. I envy Celeste for having such a great sister and friend. I should use this opportunity to ask Eurydice some questions about my situation. I'll just have to be careful about how I approach the topics. I don't want to reveal my jumbled knowledge about the world. What does it mean to have the role of the Saintess? What exactly does it mean to have the role of the Saintess? The Saintess is the fourth most important person in the Lokari Empire, after the Empress, her Emperor Consort, and the Crown Prince. You're on par with the head of the church, the High Priest. Am I part of the church now? You're not a priest or priestess, if that's what you're asking. You're still a noble, so you can marry someone of noble standing if you'd like. You're not sworn like the clergy to only marry within the church. I remember this subplot regarding Elijah. He wouldn't be able to be with a Levi because Elijah is only supposed to marry someone from the priesthood. Forbidden love. A popular trope. Marriage, that feels so far away. We're 18 now, so father will probably help us find suitable suitors soon. I'd like to marry for love, if at all possible. Love. Love was one of the components needed to defeat the Demon Queen. Levi and Noah's love. Would I have to fall in love with someone now that I was a Saintess? I hope I'll have enough time, if that's really necessary. I'm not someone who falls in love easily. You have someone in mind for marriage? Maybe? You can tell me. I'm not gonna tell anybody. Maybe another time. I'm not ready to admit it myself. I chuckle. Eurydice is adorable when she's shy. How long has the Empire waited for the Saintess? As the High Priest said, the Golden Bow was created by the Blessed Blacksmith 20 years ago, before we were even born. He worked tirelessly day and night for 2 weeks to create the artifact. The design was bestowed upon him by the God of Light himself. The Blessed Blacksmith said God told him in a dream that the Golden Bow will choose its saint when the time is right. Only the saint can wield the weapon and harness its power. But Eurydice tells me in lines with the backstory I already know from the novel, but it's good to be reminded about the details. I listen intently. What kind of power does the Golden Bow have? Light aligned magic, the kind the priests wield. It is said that only an arrow shot from the artifact will be able to kill the Demon Queen. Usual fantasy world MacGuffin then. For plot reasons, other weapons can't harm the ultimate boss. Right. makes sense. It doesn't, but Eurydice doesn't seem to be aware of how ridiculous it is that only one weapon wielded by one special person can kill the enemy that the Empire's been fighting against for decades. After the Golden Bow was created, the whole Lokari Empire and our ally kingdom of Durandal were tested to see if the saint was among them, but the savior wasn't found. Later, it was decided that every person would get tested on their 18th birthday, as suggested by the Blessed Blacksmith. 20 years passed, but the saint was still wasn't found. Until now. Also, a random night actually was chosen as a Saintess. That's my reality now. This world seems to operate on book logic anyway. What do we know about the Demon Queen? The people who have seen her say she looks like a beautiful woman, except she also has horns, a tail, and a third eye on her forehead. She's far from human. She's cruel and dangerous. She kills human without mercy. She commands an army of demons, vile monstrosities. You saw one. It was as ugly as they say. The imp wasn't pretty, that's for sure. The war has been going on for 23 years now. Over that time, 1/3 of Lokari Empire's lands to the east have been ravaged by war and infiltrated by the demons. They leave only ruins behind when they take over a town. Their fire is said to be ever burning. You'll have to travel east to defeat the Demon Queen. She's taken up residence in the Clermont Castle. Used to be the seat of Duke Clermont and his family, but they had to abandon their homeland to the demons 10 years ago. That news doesn't make me want to go to the border at all. It'll be like walking straight into the maws of the enemy. I fear you won't have a choice in the matter. The Empress decreed long ago that once a saint or saintess was found, he would immediately embark on the quest to defeat the Demon Queen with a party of the most capable fighters. Quest Town sounds like a story from a role-playing game. Not that I expect anything else from this book world. Levi went on this quest as the saint, after all. Just hope you won't have to leave too soon. I think I'll need some time to learn to wield the golden bow and to accept the whole situation. I'm sure the Empress will understand. Those are all the questions I have right now. Those are all the questions I have for now, at least. Thank you for helping me sort through everything, sister. Eurydice gives me a bright smile. That's what I'm here for. One thing's certain. The people of the Lokari Empire have been waiting for the Saintess for ages. A lot of faith will be put into your abilities. A lot will be expected from you. I don't envy you. If I could, I would share this burden with you. Thank you. I'm really moved by Eurydice's dedication to me. There's a knock on the door, then Levi's voice can be heard from the other side. High Priest Elijah and Count de Curie have arrived. They can enter. Elijah comes into the room, followed by Father. Levi closes the door behind them, remaining in the living room of our apartment to guard the entrance. The High Priest bears a friendly smile. Father, on the other hand, wears his usual scowl on his face. He seems like he wants to say something. I give him an inquiring look, which is met with a glare. I don't know if I should laugh or cry at the fact that his disposition towards Celeste hasn't changed, even in the middle of such a life-changing situation. What does Celeste have to do for her father to show her affection? If I had any hope that he would be proud of me now that I had suddenly advanced to a great position in the hierarchy of the Empire, it evaporates now. I decided not to say anything to Father while Elijah is around. I don't want him to witness a fight between us, and I doubt I can hold my tongue right now. May I sit beside you? Sure. Elijah approaches and sits beside me on the bed. I need to touch you to make sure you're healthy. Is that alright? Is that how light magic works? As someone who reincarnated here from Earth, I have little knowledge about magic. I don't remember a scene like this one with the High Priest in the book. Come to think of it, Levi didn't faint after touching the golden bow. He must have a much stronger resistance to pain than I do. Celeste doesn't know about magic either. Doesn't know much about magic either. She has no magical powers of her own, after all. Nobody in the de Curie family does. Elijah says he has to touch me for his magic to work, though. I doubt he's lying. Look at him. He stares back at me with a patient smile. The High Priest is really attractive. I never thought I would find a guy with pink hair dashing, but he must have the longest lashes I've ever seen on a man. I blush, realizing I'm checking Elijah out. He's a priest, for heaven's sake. Eurydice just reminded me that he can only marry within the clergy. He's off limits. Besides, he only wants to touch me to make sure I'm okay. Stupid hormones. Clear my throat, though I can do nothing to stop my cheeks from burning. Alright, go ahead. Elijah surprises me by leaning his forehead against mine. Before I can protest, an aura of white surrounds his body. He's really working his magic on me. I close my eyes and focus on how his magic makes me feel. His touch is pleasant and warm. I become strangely comforted. Before I realize what I'm doing, I lean in closer to him. Elijah's chuckle makes me snap out of the comforting embrace of his magic.
Light magic does have a good feel, doesn't it?
There's a twinkle in his eye and a confident smirk on his face. Is he flirting with me? Embarrassed, I pull away. Lady Celeste is healthy. I can also confirm that the golden bow's magic has entered her body. She's the Saintess. Father lets out a heavy sigh. I hope you won't embarrass me. I glare at him, pursing my lips. I want to call him out on his unkind behavior, but I stop myself. Turn back to Elijah instead. Thank you for the checkout. You're welcome. Only 2 hours remain now until Celeste has to attend the audience with the Empress. Yes, we should go and let Sister prepare for seeing the Empress. I want to keep talking with Elijah. If anyone could explain to me more about the Golden Bow's magic, it's him. Unfortunately, now is not the right time. Father rings the bell. A moment later, Linda appears in the doorway. Make Celeste presentable for me, the Empress and Emperor Consort. Yes, my lord. Everyone says their goodbyes to me, and they leave me alone with my maid. I follow a step behind Father. We walk through the corridors of the palace to the throne room where the Empress and the Emperor Consort are waiting for us. As I watch Father's back, I feel Celeste's resentment for him resurface. No, resentment isn't a strong enough term to describe her feelings. Celeste hates her father. Not without reason either. What he's done to her over the years is something I can only describe as pure abuse. He's belittled her constantly, both in public and in private. His favorite title for her is his no-good daughter. He has always made her feel like she is less than Eurydice, unworthy of his praise. The only time he ever pulls his attention away from Eurydice is when Celeste misbehaves. Celeste's mother died when the two girls were young. Celeste has no memory of her and no one to shield her from her father's wrath. Maybe that situation is why Celeste is always out hunting or horseback riding, taking herself far away from Father and her duties as a noble lady. And Levi, he has watched Celeste suffer at Father's hand. I have a memory of him standing up for his love and Father having him flogged for it. After the event, Celeste forbade her knight to ever act in her defense again in front of her father. Levi protested, but Celeste insisted, using her authority as his noble lady to make him agree. In the years that followed, they both suffered. Celeste from her father's abuse, and Levi watching his love in pain. How could I not hate Celeste's father for his disgusting behavior? A pang of loneliness shoots through my heart. My parents never abused me, but I wasn't from a picture-perfect family either. There was a lot of fighting between Mom and Dad before they finally divorced. I was 14 when they parted ways, and I had a lot of trouble accepting that the situation wasn't my fault. I tried to help them fix their broken relationship before the divorce, but they didn't believe their marriage was worth saving. Eventually, everything fell apart, regardless of my efforts. Ever since then, I've had trouble with trusting anybody enough to fall in love. I had a boyfriend in high school, but he broke up with me because I was too cold and emotionless towards him. His exact words. At the time, I just didn't know how to show love or if I should even be open about my deep feelings for him at that early stage of our relationship. Both Celeste and Celine have their own baggage. Still, I found it very hard not to talk back to Father whenever he was rude to me. Celeste had long since given up on the relationship and simply chose to ignore his outbursts, but letting someone belittle me wasn't my style. I realized Father had stopped walking when I almost bumped into him, stopping just in time to avoid the collision. Hi, Priest Elijah. Hello again, Saintess. Count Decurie. Elijah nods at us with a soft smile, ignoring Levi's presence, of course. Knights in the Lokari Empire are just guards to their nobles. Elijah doesn't think much about Levi in this reality. Levi is not the same, after all. I decided to join you during the audience. We're happy to have you. Are you ready to enter? I'm not, but then again, I'm not sure if I will ever be. Father nods in response to Elijah's words before I can protest. Let's enter. A guards in front of the throne room entrance open the door and Father and Elijah enter the hall. I turn to Levi. Now more than ever, I need the support of someone who I know cares for me. Even if Levi won't be allowed to say anything during the audience, I want him present at my side. Come in with me. You'll only be able to stay by the door, but I want you to be there for this conversation. Alright. Enter the throne as well now, Levi following behind me. The Empress is sitting on her throne, and the Emperor consort is lounging in the smaller chair next to her. Empress Muriel is as radiant in person as she is in Celeste's memories. Wearing a golden gown, she's the son of the Lokari Empire. Her husband, Emperor Consort Lucius, comes from our allied country at Durandal. He's called the Moon of the Lokari Empire. When the Emperor sees us approach, he gives us a bright smile. At last, the prophesied saint stands before me in the flesh! I smile and make my best attempt at curtsy, following Celeste's memory. The wince on Father's face tells me I failed to move properly. For some reason, I find this expression funny. I cover my mouth so that nobody can see the smirk on my face. If I embarrass Father in front of the Empress, I can't say it wouldn't be enjoyable. Father and Elijah make smooth bows. Thank you for the chance to have an audience with us. Thank you for the chance to have an audience with you, Your Grace. Grace to be in your presence again, oh radiant lady. Of course! How could I not gaze upon the chosen heroine with my own eyes? The Empire has been awaiting her for over 20 years. I'm surprised her daughter is the one who turned out to be a Saintess, Count Alaric. A nervous chuckle escapes Father's lips. She's always been good with a bow. So I've heard. Your daughter doesn't act much like a noble lady, does she? She does have a reputation for enjoying quite boyish activities. Father's face turns beet red. He's embarrassed because of me. I realize I shouldn't let myself be too happy about the situation, though. There's too much at stake. I can't ignore the fact that as a Saintess, I have an important role to uphold in Lokari Empire. As Eurydice explained to me, I'm the fourth most important person in the hierarchy now. No pressure! It seems the Empress finds me lacking as well, and having her, out of all people, displeased with me is not good. I remember Noah's plotline from the novel. The Empress sends him on the quest with Levi to defeat the Demon Queen, even though Noah is the heir to the throne. Or so he should be, being Empress Muriel's firstborn. However, the monarch is a very controlling person. She doesn't want to give up the power of her throne to anybody, so she hopes to continue ruling through her child once she abdicates. Due to the law of the Lokari Empire, the person can only rule for 40 years before they have to pass the role on to another. The Empress is aging, but based on what I know from the novel, her hunger for power over the years has only grown. She wants to keep her influence over the politics of the Empire. However, Noah, her heir, isn't someone who can be easily controlled. The Empress has a secret second son, however, 10-year-old Mateo, whom she is raising to be completely obedient and reliant on her own opinions. She only sends Noah on the mission because she hopes he will die so she can establish Mateo as her new heir. She can't pronounce someone else the crown prince until Noah is gone. Someone as ruthless as the Empress is definitely not a good enemy to have. It's known that the Count de Curie has two daughters, the one who's a perfect image of a noble lady and the one who's a tomboy. I suppose that the girl that stands before us, although dressed in finery, is not much of a proper noble. Silence falls in the room. Everyone looks at me, expecting me to answer. Under the sudden attention, my mouth is dry and I can't find my words. They don't know much about Celeste, but rumors precede her. They have already judged her. Me. Why did I think I should suddenly gain respect by becoming a Saintess when Celeste's questionable reputation has been spreading for years? In a sense, it's good that everyone expects Celeste to be quite lousy at etiquette. After all, I have no idea how to curtsy or properly use the utensils or dance like a graceful noble lady. Since Celeste's skills didn't directly transfer to me, if she really had been a perfect lady, I would have suddenly looked like an imposter. Still, I don't want the Empress to think I'm worthless as a Saintess, too. If she deems me inadequate like Father does, will she try to get rid of me so the Golden Bow can choose another saint? I don't think she has a very forgiving personality, judging by how much she hates her own son. Just when I gather my words to speak, the door to the throne room bursts open. A well-posed, tall, blonde man enters the room in a dramatic flash, and his cloak waving behind him in a sudden draft of air. He is Noah, Levi's love interest in the book. He is one of the most handsome guys I've ever seen, next to Levi and Elijah. His skin is darker than most Lucari nobles, but only slightly. Noah is of mixed race. The current emperor consort is not Noah's father, but the previous consort was from our allied country, Durandal, which happens to be in the south. Isn't this one also from Durandal? Hold up. There's a plot hole here. The Durandai are known for having darker complexions. Noah inherited most of his features from the Empress, though. When he spots me, a smirk appears on his face. His red eyes shine with mischief.
Knock, knock. Did I miss anything?
Fashionably late as always, my son.
If I missed nothing, there was nothing to miss. This is the Saintess, right? Count Decoris's tomboy daughter.
Aquarius. Okay. I hope like a grown. Even Noah knows about Celeste's reputation.
Yes, that's me.
You're good at archery, are you not? Better than you are at etiquette, at the very least.
Yes, I'm quite good with a bow.
Probably not as good as Celeste was, though, I presume, judging by her renowned reputation. At least I'm still good enough to shoot arrows with decent accuracy. Just need to practice a bit more, remember everything I learned in middle school.
Quite. Then you'll be perfect for the role of the Saintess.
How can you say that? If a lacking individual takes up such a high role in the hierarchy of the Empire...
All the Saintess needs to do is shoot the golden bow and hit the Demon Queen straight in the heart. Then the war will finally be over. Is that not what you want, Mother?
I want peace more than anything else.
That's a lie. With the army off fighting at the war front, the Empress feels more secure in her rule here in the capital. Do you question the god's will, Empress? It is the Lord who has chosen Lady Celeste to be the Saintess of the Golden Bow. While Celeste may be lacking in some other areas, she asserts she's great at archery, and her reputation confirms her words. Right, Mother, you shouldn't worry. Lady Dequer will make an excellent Saintess. I wish I could share the faith these two have in me. Still, I have to maintain a confident front, so I put on my brightest smile. Please, don't worry about anything, Your Grace. I'll defeat the Demon Queen and bring peace to the Empire. Empress Morel gives me a long look. After a moment, the confident smirk that Noah inherited from her is back on her face. Excellent! Then there's nothing stopping us from proceeding with the mission to defeat the Demon Queen, is there? Noah, you'll be the one leading the Saintess's quest. Noah's eyes widen. He opens his mouth and closes it. But you will lead the Saintess's quest, and you will take the 20 best men from the Palace Guard, the Mage's Tower, and the church to accompany you. And you will leave in a month. In a month? So soon? Shock makes my heart beat erratic. With my current archery skills, I'm nowhere near ready to defeat a powerful enemy so soon. Is there a problem? You said you're great at using the bow, and that's all you need to be a successful Saintess, right? Empress has really turned the tables on me. I can't deny her words, and neither can Noah. After all, we're the ones who just made those claims to her. I simply thought we'd have more time to prepare. There is no more time, not with the Demon Queen's army closing in more and more on the capital in recent years. I think the Saintess and you are ready enough. But do you question the Empress's judgment? The Emperor and Noah glare at each other. Noah doesn't respond. He finally just turns around and walks towards the door. Noah, you will prepare for the quest and depart in a month. As you wish, Your Grace. If it's not too much to ask, I want to accompany the Saintess and the Prince on their quest. Elijah's request surprises me for a moment until I remember that he wanted to join the mission when Levi was the Saint as well. Are you sure, High Priest? You will be leaving your office behind for 2 months. Yes, I'm sure. I'll take Gareth with me as well. Meredith can manage running the office on her own. I'll appoint some people to help her with the paperwork. Saintess' quest will be an historic moment in the life of the Lucari Empire. I wouldn't want to miss witnessing the Saintess defeat the Demon Queen. He has strange taste, but with Elijah's light magic, our success will be easier. I don't protest. We'll need all the help we can get. Alright, you may go as well. Thank you, Your Grace. I'll organize a ball to celebrate the finding of the Saintess tomorrow evening, and be sure to attend, all of you. We all reply we'll be there, and after some final departing words, we're dismissed. After the audience, I asked everyone to give me some time alone. I'm too overwhelmed by the recent events. I need some time to think. I take a sheet of paper and a quill, and I begin to scribble down my thoughts. I survived my death event, the demon attack in the woods near the Dequare mansion. That's why Levi is likely to continue to love Celeste and not become interested in anybody else. Except I'm not really the Celeste he loves. I have her memories and a portion of her skills, basically Celine and Celeste's body. I'm not just Celeste recollecting a past life. Instead, I, Celine, have taken over Celeste's body at the pivotal moment of her current life. Does that mean Celeste is dead? I guess the answer to that question doesn't really matter, though the thought of her passing is sad. I'm now the Saintess of the Golden Bow, a hero who the whole Lucari Empire has been awaiting for years. Yeah, Levi was supposed to take on that role. Levi has been training to protect Celeste all his life. He's a way more skilled at archery than I am. I have a month to train myself to use a bow properly. Not just any bow though, the Golden Bow, which seems more ornamental than practical. Wielding that weapon will be a pain in the ass. What were the two components needed to defeat the Demon Queen again? First, one is firing an arrow and be with the Golden Bow's light magic the Demon Queen's heart and actually hitting the target. Suddenly I practice both archery and accessing the bow's magic. As someone who comes from Earth, I have no idea how to wield magic. The very concept of magical power coursing through my body is foreign to me. I suppose training with the bow will just take time, though I have a little to spare. As for wielding its magic, that's something Elijah will know more about, given that he's a light magic user. I scribbled down that I need to talk to Elijah about the Golden Bow and its magic. Know thy enemy, they say, and right now my enemy, until I master it, is that bow. It's also a second component to being the Demon Queen, one that follows the story trope more than practical logic. Noah and Levi's love makes the magic of the Golden Bow stronger. How is that possible? I have no idea. But Noah and Levi being in love now will still solve this problem? Regardless, the two of them falling in love is not gonna happen now. Levi is still hung up on Celeste. He won't give Noah a second look. Meanwhile, the real Celeste is technically dead. She never returned Levi's feelings anyway, and as for myself, I imagine falling in love with someone in a month. Love is such a difficult topic for me. I can't trust or fall in love that easily. I'm so screwed. I'm scared. The situation isn't just a story in a book anymore. It's my reality. Levi, Elijah, Noah, Eurydice, Father, the Empress, they're all real people. They aren't acting according to script either. The plot of the book has changed. It's a real world now with unpredictable consequences. I'm at the center of this new story. Levi dies at the end of the book despite defeating the Demon Queen, despite Noah's love for him. Will I die again too? Or will that aspect of the story change as well? No, I can't give up. I must change reality and my fate. It's not like me to mope around and feel defeated. I'm the master of my own destiny. If I have to fall in love with someone, who should it be? Levi, who blindly adores his lady? Noah, who has been burdened with leading the mission to defeat the Demon Queen? Elijah, who's a priest and can't marry someone unless they're part of the church? Or should I pick someone else entirely? I at least have to admit that all three of them are handsome men. I just hope my own baggage isn't going to drag me down too much. Will I turn cold and detached if I enter into a relationship with any of them, just like I did towards my ex-boyfriend? Can someone like me even make a guy fall in love with her within a month? My heart is beating so quickly. Now that I realize what's really at stake and what I have to do, I'm terrified. I lie down in bed and hide my face against a pillow. Tears stream down my cheeks, soaking the material. For the first time since reincarnating, I give in to all the emotions that have built up inside of me. I'm just one young girl. How can I carry so many heavy burdens? Eventually, I cry myself to sleep. I toss and turn all night, though, unable to get any real rest until nearly dawn. The next evening, Linda gets me all dolled up for the grand ball the Empress is throwing in my name. At the ball, I find myself sitting at the table. I adjust my microphone a little bit and then I, bring it back to where it was. At the ball, I find myself sitting at the table, staring at the silverware I have no idea how to properly use. Celeste's memories aren't helping me much. The servant puts a salad in front of me and I pick up one of the forks. There's an offended gasp from my left. I look at the noble lady sitting next to me. She's almost purple in the face, staring down at the fork I'm holding. Wrong piece of cutlery, then. I put it down and take another in my hand. I steal a sideways glance at the noble lady. She doesn't seem to be offended anymore. This one must be the right fork, then. When everyone starts eating, I dig into the salad too, but it tastes like paper to me. I'm nervous. My hands are clammy.
So you've become the Saintess, Lady d'Aquarius.
Oh, I wasn't expecting this to be voiced. The man to my right, Duke George, if Celeste's memory serves me correctly, strikes up a conversation with me. He's a young duke and a powerful player on the battlefield of Lokari Empire's politics. I'll have to do my best not to say or do anything strange.
Yes, despite my surprise, the Golden Bow has chosen me.
Well, now that you carry such an important role, do you plan to improve your knowledge of etiquette?
He points at my salad. Oh, come on, what am I doing wrong this time? Duke smiles, but his expression isn't unkind.
You have no idea what you're doing wrong, do you?
I don't.
May I?
He extends his hand to me, and when I don't protest, he touches my hand gently to modify the way I'm holding the fork.
Oh, come on, George. You're spoiling the fun.
The lady to my left has a cruel smile on her face. Shoot, I really was eating the salad wrong after all. My cheeks heat up from embarrassment, and suddenly I find it hard to breathe. For every kind person like Duke George is a cruel one unlike that lady here, a vulture just waiting for me to make a mistake. Now that I'm the Saintess, I'll be watched even more closely than Celeste was as a mere count's daughter. They're all going to be laughing for weeks about the way I ate the stupid salad. I just know it. Celeste's memory tells me that this incident won't be the first time she's ruined her reputation with a stupid mistake either. Excuse me. I can't be here anymore. I have to get fresh air or else I will hyperventilate. Are you okay? Duke George calls after me, but I walk quickly to the terrace. Once I'm away from the throne room, I run into the gardens. I stop only when I reach a small lake. Here, I put my arms around my frame, trying to control my breathing. Breathe, lean, in and out. In and out. Don't cry. Don't cry. You'll ruin the makeup Linda spent hours putting on you to make you like a real noble lady. Didn't think I would run into you here. I turn around when I hear the voice. It's Noah. He's drawn a sword and his usual mocking demeanor is not present. He's completely serious when he suddenly puts his sword against my throat. My heart beats so loudly that it feels like it could jump out of my chest, this time from fear. Does Noah want to kill me?
I wish I could just kill you and be done with it.
He does. But why? Suddenly I remember the scene. I fangirled over it when I was reading the novel. This is the scene where Noah puts his sword to Levi's throat. It's overly dramatic, and most of the readers of the novel read it as a romantic interaction. We talked about the event for hours on the web novels forums. But now I think this setup is just ridiculous. I could take a step back at any time from the coldness of steel, and my neck would be safe. I give Noah a long stare. He's looking at me seriously, as if he is really pondering if he should harm me. I don't believe he actually will. I will entertain his antics for a while longer, just to see what he has to say to me. I want to know how much the scene changes with me being here instead of Levi.
Why do you want me dead?
Because you're the reason I have to go on the mission to kill the Demon Queen. And so soon. If anybody less capable than you had been chosen as the Saintess, Mother wouldn't have told us to leave within a mere month.
I'm glad he thinks so highly of my archery skills, especially considering how little the nobles think of my etiquette skills, but he's wrong.
I may not be as great at archery as you think.
That fact would change nothing at this point. Mother is now convinced you can defeat the fiend. This is a suicide mission. None of us will come back from the quest.
Even though I remember this line from the book, my eyes widen.
How do you know we won't return?
His words almost feel oddly like foreshadowing for what happens in the book. Noah seems to seriously believe what he's saying.
20 people going deep into demon-ravaged lands to enter the Demon Queen's castle and kill her. What could possibly go wrong?
He's really convinced we're going to die on this quest. I can see the desperation in his eyes.
Can't you convince your mother to postpone the day we leave or to increase the amount of people we can bring with us?
I've already tried. She doesn't want to listen. It's almost if she wants to set us up for failure.
Oh, Noah, you're closer to the truth than you think. I can't tell him anything about his mother's plan to get rid of him. He would just grow suspicious if I, someone he barely knows, spouted such important information about his life. Should only tell him what's really going on with the Empress when, or if, we become friends during the quest.
Look, I'm afraid of the mission too. But I don't want to give up. I won't just roll over and die. I'll keep fighting until the very end. No matter how the mission ends, I want to be sure I've done everything I can to fulfill my role properly.
Noah's eyes widen.
You're right. I can't just give up.
I must also see the mission through until the end. I'm sure you'll do great on the quest. I hear you're a great fighter. Rumor has it you're difficult to talk to and don't have very good social skills. All I see here is a composed young woman who can compliment others. You're a mystery, Saintess. Uh-oh, I must be careful about what I say to others. I don't want to break my character as Celeste too much. One thing's for sure, I don't want you to die, Your Grace. Just Noah's fine. We're teammates now, I suppose. I like the sound of that. Noah smiles back. He seems much more relaxed now. I'll continue trying to get Mother to delay the deadline for us to leave. I would appreciate more time to train. Right. Time to go back to the ball then. Without sparing me another glance, Noah walks past me towards the terrace. I watch him until he disappears between the carefully trimmed bushes of the palace garden. I look out the water of the lake and take a few deep breaths. I really hadn't expected Levi's scene with Noah to play out for me. I also didn't respond like Levi did. Our encounter didn't turn romantic at all. Yet my heart is beating quickly regardless because I'm still scared about so many things. The stress is catching up to me. I fall to my knees on the soft grass. I can't hold back my tears any longer. In the end, I'm just a girl, caught up in so many responsibilities. I'm tired, I'm terrified, I want it all to stop. No matter how much I cry though, this new reality won't magically change for me. I'm still Celeste, and I'm still the Saintess. The sooner I accept my fate and put my energy into the few things I can still change, the better. With renewed purpose, I get up and start walking back to my room. Screw the ball. I'm not going back there only to be ridiculed further. I don't want the whole Imperial Court to continue watching how terrible I am at being a noble lady. If I had more time before the quest, I would take lessons to get better at etiquette. However, with the way the situation has unfolded, all the focus only on improving my archery and horseback riding skills. Besides, the future of the Empire doesn't depend on me knowing which fork to use for a salad, but it certainly does hang on me using the golden bow properly. I'm walking down the corridor towards the apartment where my family is staying when I hear someone running behind me. Celeste! Levi calls me by my first name like he always does when it's just him and Celeste. It's something the two of them agreed to do when they were younger. Levi stops before me and looks me up and down. Where have you been? I didn't notice when you left the throne room. You're not supposed to go anywhere without me. Mother's orders, I know, I just forgot. I realize I've been thinking about how Levi would feel if I suddenly disappeared. Yet again. I'm not concerned about failing to follow his orders, I'm genuinely worried about you. He blushes and looks away. My heartbeat quickens. Why though? Celeste has no romantic feelings toward Levi. But do I? I must admit, he's very handsome and kind. He's my favorite character from the book. Am I that much of a simp? I let out a long sigh. Levi looks back at me with a worried expression, and he looks me up and down again. You're alright, are you not? He focuses on my face and frowns. You've been crying. He must notice my smudged makeup. I was, but I feel better now. What made you cry? When I see the sincere worry on Levi's face, I want to tell him the truth. I'm just overwhelmed by suddenly becoming the Saintess, by having to carry the burden of saving the whole empire. Look down, tears welling up in my eyes again. Celeste. Look back up to see Levi staring at me with love and adoration. It hurts being on the receiving end of such feelings, knowing that they aren't really for me. No matter what happens, know that I'll always stay by your side. I'm sorry to drag you into this quest with me. He would have been caught up in this mess anyway if he were the Saint, but now he's coming along anyway as Celeste Knight. What if Levi dies protecting me? My heart feels heavy. I'll do my best to get as strong as possible. Don't say that. I swore to always protect you, did I not? Back when I became your knight. Remember? I recall Celeste's memory of that time. They were both 14 back then, and Levi took a knee in front of her and swore he would protect her until death did them part. He made this vow with such sincerity and fervor. Yet I'm not the one whom he swore to always stay beside. That person was Celeste. So he should be free of the oath since Celeste is kind of dead. I can't tell him the truth though. On the spur of a moment, I gesture towards Levi. Lean down, please. You're too tall. Too tall for what? Levi gives me a puzzled look, but complies with my request. I press up on my toes and kiss him on the cheek, not as Celeste, but as Celine, because I genuinely feel grateful to him and don't know how else to express myself right now.
Celeste?
Levi blushes a deep red and gets flustered. Only when I lean back and smile at him do I realize I shouldn't be doing something so intimate to a man who loves a woman who once inhabited this body. I might be sending him the wrong message.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I just wanted to express my gratitude.
I let out a sigh.
You always do your very best to protect me. Thank you, Levi.
You're welcome, but it's my job to take care of you.
I know you're not doing it just because it's your job.
Levi gives me a startled look. I turn around and start walking towards my room before he can reply. Let's go, Levi. We need to rest. Training starts tomorrow. Thank you for playing Saintess of the Golden Bow demo. Stay tuned for more updates in the near future. Oh. Okay. I guess that's that. Interesting. Small little typo I spotted there at the end, but interesting. Very much she's just like, I'm not from here, I'm not, yeah. I mean, I guess if you're suddenly thrown into, like, a web novel or whatever, it'd be kinda weird. If you were, like, just suddenly thrown into a book you read. Yeah, so I believe... Sound's not gonna go mute. I believe the game will be going up... on... Kickstarter at some point. I will try and get that link in the description. I was just trying to see if I can find that date, but I don't see anything. So, yeah. Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Saintess of the Golden Bow demo. It has been updated since last we looked at it with a little bit more content, so let's continue roughly from where we left off. Did as best I could. I didn't actually leave a save near the end, unfortunately, so I think we're pretty much... Anyway, UI's been updated. I believe some portraits have been updated. There was some extra CGs and I think choices. I think. Anyways, from where we left off, let's go, Levi. We need to rest. Training starts tomorrow. The next day, I began training with the Golden Bow on the palace training grounds. Much as I expected, due to its elaborate design, the bow proves difficult to use. I sent arrow after arrow flying at targets, but I only hit once out of every 10 times. Not only are my bow skills rusty, but the weapon isn't cooperating either. Finally, too frustrated to continue, I give up. I'll try again tomorrow. Make my way to my room with Levi following behind me. This is a suicide mission. We're not going to come back to Solus alive. Please, Noah, don't say such things in public. What if someone hears you? At the end of the corridor, two people stand to the side talking. The one who said something about a suicide mission is Noah. After our conversation in the garden the other day, his words don't shock me. What does surprise me, though, is that he's openly talking about his feelings with someone else. I hide behind the pillar and take a peek at the other person. The dark-skinned knight with her hair in buns must be Tarek, Nora's right hand and the leader of the palace guards. She's wearing armor with the Lucarii Empire royal insignia on her chest, characteristic of the guards. The leader of the mission should believe in the quest success. You can't be heard doubting our ability to defeat the Demon Queen. It's just, I have a really bad feeling about Mother's request, Tarek. Why is she pushing us to go on to the Demon Queen's castle so soon? Why can't we wait a few months until everyone feels ready and has practiced fighting as a team? We can't go against the Empress's orders, you know that. She said her reason for the rush is that the demon army keeps getting closer and closer to the capital. Yet the fiends are at least 3 weeks' journey away from Solus on horseback, and they haven't made any significant movement towards us in at least a decade. We've got time. The Empress seems to have a different opinion on the matter. I just don't trust her. Noah, watch what you say. What if... Suddenly she turns around and unsheathes her sword. Who's there? She's noticed me. Step out and reveal yourself. Step out from behind the pillar, revealing myself. Oh, if it isn't the Saintess, welcome. Welcome. Hello? How much of our conversation did you overhear? Told you, Your Grace, you should be more careful. Sorry for eavesdropping, I was just curious. This excuse is a sad one, but it's the truth. Noah takes a step closer to me. Oh, you were curious about me. I arched my eyebrows, unsure of what he means. I didn't say... He leans in closer to me, his face level with mine. He has a signature smirk on his face. I didn't know you were interested in me, Celeste. I don't understand what he's suggesting. He's flirting with me. That's not what I meant. I'm very pleased to win your attention. If you want to know more about me, how about we get together for tea? He really is hitting on me. I feel embarrassed, unsure of how to respond. I'm not... Would tomorrow afternoon be okay for you? Not that he's letting me get a word in edgewise anyway. Anger rises in my heart. I'm not interested in you. Take a few steps back, putting distance between us again. Oh, I pull up the save menu apparently by right-clicking accidentally. Noah chuckles. I let out a frustrated huff. I don't appreciate you flirting with me. Is that what I'm doing? You clearly are. The other day he wanted to kill me, and today he's playing with me. What a frustrating guy. I'm leaving. I rush towards my room, my footsteps heavy. I feel furious at Noah for clearly making fun of me. Levi follows behind me like my shadow. I spend the next few days training with a golden bow. I increase my accuracy rate, but I'm still struggling to wield the weapon. In the afternoon, Elijah approaches me. How's training going? Should I be honest with him? I hesitate, but I know I'll need his help to access the bow's magic. Honestly, the training's not going great. I feel like the bow is fighting me for control. The bow though supposed to be semi-sentient, it may very well be that it hasn't yet fully accepted you. It hasn't fully accepted me. What should I do to make the artifact approve of me? Unfortunately, I don't know. It will continue to be a struggle, won't it? I wanted to ask you something. Ever since I was chosen as the Saintess, you're the High Priest, so you know a lot about holy magic. Is that right? As much as a human possibly can, I'm the strongest light magic user in the Empire. Oh, that's right. I remember that part from the book. Everyone thought Elijah would become the saint, but on his 18th birthday, he didn't get chosen. The previous high priest abdicated at that time and passed on the role to Elijah. That's how Elijah came to have such a high position at such a young age. The novel also said Elijah's light magic is abnormally strong. Could you teach me about light magic? Sure, but you have no magic of your own. You know that, right? I nod. Celeste was never a magic user, and that fact didn't change when I took over her body. I had to defeat the demon queen with the golden bow's magic, right? So is there a way for me to access it? Ah, yes, artifacts like the golden bow do carry their own magic. You'll have to have a magical affinity of your own to use their power. Although already being trained in wielding magic would help you understand more easily how the bow's magic is used. Still, I can at least explain the basics to you, and then with practice I'm sure you'll catch on. What if I don't understand what he tries to teach me? Will he be doomed to fail then? I swallow hard. I'm afraid I'll be a magical failure. No, gloomy thoughts won't help make anything better. I need to focus on what Elijah can teach me and do my best to understand the golden bow's power. Please teach me what you know about using the artifact's holy magic. Sure. Elijah moves behind me, touching the hand I'm using to aim the golden bow. Close your eyes. We'll pour some of my light magic into you so that you can understand how magic flows through the human body. To access the golden bow's magic, you have to pull some of that magic towards you and let it enter your body. Be open to it, don't struggle against the power. Close my eyes just like Elijah commands. Feel his grip on my hand growing firmer. He's standing behind me, his chest pressed against my back so I can feel the heat of his body touching mine. The contact is quite intimate and makes my cheeks flush with embarrassment. Then I feel Elijah's magic enter my body. It's a gentle stream, not as strong as when he examined me for injuries a few days ago. Still, I can feel the magic coursing through my veins. Focus on the flow of the magic. Elijah told me to focus on the flow of the magic, so I don't let myself succumb to the pleasant feeling of closeness. I focus on the power coursing through my veins instead. Do you feel how the magic is moving through you? Yes, I do. Elijah lets go of me and steps away, taking the comforting presence of his magic with him. I'm almost saddened suddenly, feeling as if I have lost something important. Shake off this strange emotion. You must convince the golden bow to let you access its magic, then pull the power towards yourself and let it flow through your body. Only by doing so will you be able to aim that magic with your arrow and strike the demon queen when the time comes. Use my staff as a way to store more magic. Even though I have magic of my own within my body, I can only use more powerful spells with the staff's help. Just like what you must do with the bow, I draw the magic of my staff into my body so I can release the power as bolts of light. I keep accidentally right-clicking. The human body is a conduit for an artifact's magic. I nod, trying my best to comprehend what Elijah is explaining. Just use enter, I can't. I'll try it out. I'm back to clicking. Great, let me know if you have any more questions. I have to return to my office. You can find me there, whenever you need me. After Elijah leaves, I return to practicing archery. I try to pull the bow's magic towards me like he instructed. But I can't replicate what the High Priest did. Even so, I keep trying. There's too much at stake for me to give up so easily. Okay, that's enough for today. I can't overdo it or else I wouldn't have the strength to train tomorrow. Do a few stretches, grab my bow, and make my way back to my room. Oh! In the palace corridor, I run into someone I hadn't expected to meet again. Greetings, Lady Celeste. George nods at me, putting a hand over his heart. I make my best attempt at a curtsy. Your Grace? George looks me up and down, his eyes show concern. Are you doing okay? Yes, I am. You ran off from the ball the other night and never returned. It's true that I embarrassed myself by running away from George and Penelope in the middle of our conversation. It's about having an anxiety attack, so I needed to get away, but After I met Noah in the gardens and cried my eyes out, I was too tired to rejoin the party. I didn't want to be amongst people anymore anyway, especially nobles who were just waiting for me to make a blunder. I've been worried for you. Now that was unexpected. Why would George worry about me? We barely know each other. I've really been okay. Get the feeling he doesn't buy my words. Walk with me in the gardens. Doesn't want to hurt to get to know one of the most important people in the Lokari Empire better. Okay. We walked for a while in silence until we reached the less frequented part of the gardens. I've been meaning to ask you about something, but the dining table during a ball didn't seem like the right place. Can you tell me more about the demon that attacked you? Yes, of course. It was an imp, if I recognized it correctly. It was a small flying creature with a scorpion's tail, long horn, and sharp claws. Yes, that's right. It had a reddish-gray skin and red wings with some symbols tattooed on them. They come in various colors. Do they? Yes, imps are plenty at the warfront. They have a cruel nature, seeking to play with their victims rather than outright kill them like other monstrosities. Though they're relatively easy to kill with magic or arrows if one can keep up with their swift movements. They know how to dodge attacks well. Demons are more intelligent than humans give them credit for. You know a lot about demons. I'm not sure how much you know about me. I used to be the general of the Lokari Empire's army and fought on the warfront for years. The general? Yes, the highest ranking officer in the field. But aren't you very young to hold such an important position? George chuckles, in momentary stunned when I see his beautiful, carefree smile. You're one to judge. Celeste just turned 18 this year. I was 3 years older when I died. Yeah, you're right. I'm 26. Oh, then you're not that much older than me. You think 8 years is not much? This world where there are bigger age gaps between couples in arranged marriages? Wait, why am I thinking about George's love interest? He isn't asking me this question for me to consider him romantically? It depends on what you're asking. Suppose you're right. It's just that I feel older than my age. The years I spent on the battlefield took a toll on me. Can you tell me more about the war? Sure, what would you like to know? The war's been going on for a few decades now. Is it really impossible to win without the Saint? We've encountered the Demon Queen herself on numerous occasions, but we couldn't kill her with weapons or magic. Even the light magic wielded by powerful priests couldn't breach her defenses. She has a dark aura shield around her that deflects all incoming attacks. Nothing has been able to get through so far. And she keeps the demon army very well organized. They obey her commands, even at the cost of their lives. Since demons value their lives so little, they fight viciously and to the death. They're a difficult opponent to face. You've really seen the Demon Queen? Yes, though she can change her form. One moment, she's a beautiful woman. The next, she's a horrifying monstrosity. I see. After making a circle around the gardens, we returned to the corridor. I'll have to make my way back to the palace now. Duty calls. I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. No, I wanted to talk to you. I need a break sometimes, too. If you ever have more questions about the war or the Demon Queen, don't hesitate to ask me whenever we have the opportunity to talk. I'd love to learn more about your role as the general, too. Really? It's nice of you to be interested in me. I may or may not answer you, though, depending on the question. George clearly has a secret, and I don't feel like I can pressure him for answers. He's already shared some useful information with me today, anyway. Okay, thank you for talking to me. It was a pleasure. And, Lady Celeste, I know you carry a heavy burden now, having the responsibility of the Saints on your shoulders, but don't be so hard on yourself. You're trying your best. Thank you. We say our goodbyes and part ways. I found George very intimidating at first, considering his high position in noble society, but he's actually a kind man, isn't he? As I return to my room, I'm again faced with an unexpected encounter. Celeste, fancy running into you again. I fear I can't say the same, Your Grace. And here I was, waiting for the opportunity to apologize to you. Apologize? Quite unexpected of me, isn't it? Well, I'm glad you finally changed your mind about teasing me, Your Grace. About teasing you? You mean the way I'm keeping you on your toes? We both know that's quite entertaining for both of us. No, wait! But no, I want to say sorry about the other day in the garden. That was overly dramatic. Aren't you always? You could say that. Still, we can certainly agree that putting a sword to your throat is on another level than our usual conversations or even the way I act towards a mother. Should I give you two some privacy? You don't have to, Tarek. I don't think I properly introduced you to Celeste. She's the head of Palace Guards, isn't she? That's not what I meant. Tarek is also like a mother to me. She's been my personal guard since I was little, before I promoted her to be my right hand, person who keeps order in the palace on my behalf. She's a very important person to me, my link to the Durandi legacy. It always warms my heart when you speak so highly of me. How could I not? You always supported me even when I had nobody to rely on. Your father, the late Emperor Consort, died when you were young, right? Since the Empress didn't have a good relationship with Noah, he had no other person he could call family. It's not surprising he came to treat Tarek as his personal guard, his family. I already knew that much from the book, but seeing Noah admit of his love for Tarek still warms my heart. There's more to Noah than just annoyingly flirting with me, that's for sure. Yes, my father died when I was 6. I can't say I remember his face that well. If not for the family portraits, I would have already forgotten the way he looked. Because every day when I stare in the mirror, I only see my mother's features, her face, her hair color, the way we smile. They're all the same. The only thing I inherited from my father is the color of my eyes and my slightly darker complexion. Noah glances at Tarek. Sometimes I wish I could have more proof of my southern legacy than just skin that looks tan and an eye color unusual for little Kari. Tarek's expression turns sad. She looks at Noah with both love and pity in her eyes. I too feel what Noah said deeply. Of course he wants to know more about his father's side of the family, about his roots. It's not easy to be a person of mixed race, especially without family who can teach you about your culture. I'm glad Tarek was there for you, Your Grace. So am I. That's why, Celeste, I may sometimes be overly dramatic, flamboyant even. That's the way I deal with the world. That doesn't mean I'm not sincere when I apologize to you. I really am sorry for the other day. I didn't mean to scare you. It's okay. I'm not that mad about it anymore. But you are still a little angry? A little. Very well, I can accept that. I hope that anger is a great source of motivation to drive one forward. Hope you will use that energy well. Don't go overboard with being mad at me. I wouldn't want your anger to turn into resentment. Alright. Noah and Tarek escort me to my family's apartment, where we say our goodbyes. The more I learn about Noah, the more I realize how human he is. He's a multifaceted individual, not just a character in the story, but a real person. We're all real people, I mustn't forget that fact. Is your training going well? In the evening, Eurydice comes by my room. I'm happy to have her company. Eurydice has always been a ray of sunshine in Celeste's life. I'm glad the two of them have such a good relationship. I feel like an imposter by pretending to be Celeste in front of her own twin sister. Keep right-clicking. She hasn't figured out I'm someone else yet, though, so I'll continue acting for as long as I can. Not really. They'll long sigh and tell Eurydice about my training. They'll understand what the High Priest means about accessing the Golden Bow's magic. Every time I try to think about the artifact letting me share in some godly power, nothing happens. It's frustrating. Elijah showed me how I can feel to receive the magic, but I can't reproduce the result. I have no affinity for magic. I don't understand what to do. Don't pressure yourself so much. It's only been a few hours since you even found out how light magic is used. You're right. I should be more patient. I'm just annoyed because the golden bow is so clunky and it's designed to aiming as hard as well. I glare at the offending object which rests next to my bed. It's like the golden bow is actively resisting me. I don't think that's possible. Elijah said the golden bow is semi-sentient. Well, it did have the will to choose its scene. I always thought choosing was all it could do though, except for killing the Demon Queen, acting as a normal weapon. Golden bow is a mystery, that's for sure. A long sigh. You should take some time off to relax. Not when I had no way have so little time to train. You're not going to be any good at learning how to wield the bow if you just train constantly. The human body and mind have to take breaks from time to time. I know what we should do. Lady Penelope is organizing a tea party in the royal gardens in 3 days. Who is Lady Penelope? The Duchess of Ventus? I looked through Celeste's memories, but come up with no information about the Duchess of Ventus. Or Ventus. I have no idea whom you're talking about. I sat next to her during the last ball. I feel myself going pale, then red. Duchess Penelope was the one who wanted me to embarrass myself further during dinner. That's not a good idea. I didn't want to go to a tea party. No, definitely not. The Duchy of Ventus is known for its lavender fields and beautiful gardens. They also make the best honey in the Empire. Now that you're the Saintess, the Duchess invited us to her tea party. Many other important people will be there too. All the more reason why I shouldn't go. Please, Lady Letitia asked me to convince you to come. Duchess Letitia is a friend of Eurydice. Her family, I know, they own the vast fields, and the people working for them produce the majority of grain in the Empire. Letitia is kind and compassionate. She took Eurydice into her entourage 2 years ago, elevating Eurydice's status in society. Celeste feels indebted to the Duchess. But I don't have no desire to go to Lady Penelope's tea party and further embarrass myself. Lady Letitia said that now that you have such a high standing in society, you should take part in the politics of the Empire more often, Celeste. You're going on the quest now, but once you return home, you will still be the Saintess. You have the chance to be very influential if you use your opportunities correctly. Nothing bad will happen with myself and Lady Letitia around. Please, Celeste. When Eurydice begs me like this, I find her pleas hard to refuse. I don't want to go, but she's the point. I am planning to survive the mission. That fact means I'll have a future life beyond just fighting against the Demon Queen. I will return to the palace and I'll have to hone my etiquette skills. I don't want to end up an important player in the politics of the Empire, but I also don't want to become an embarrassment to myself and my sister. Alright, I'll go. With a heavy heart, I agreed to Eurydice's request. Really? Yes, really. Don't ask me again or I might change my mind. Eurydice grabs my hands and jumps up and down, squealing. Now you're the one not acting like a noble lady. Oh, come on. Don't pretend like you care about acting prim and proper now. Thank you, Celeste. I have a bad feeling about the tea party. Now that I've agreed to go through, I'll have to keep my word and do so no matter what. The next day, I'm returning from training when I witness a commotion in front of the doors to the throne room. People dressed in rags and with burns on their bodies and badly bandaged wounds push against the guards who stand between the crowd and the entrance to the Grand Hall. Stop pushing! We need to see the Empress! Please, let us through! Mom, I'm so hungry! Hush, love, we'll get you some food soon. I turn around to look at Levi. Any idea what's going on here? No, but it may be worth asking about if you wish. I'll keep you safe. I nod. I want to find out what's wrong and how I can help. I approach the crowd from behind and tap one of the men on the shoulder. He turns around and gives me a desperate look. My lady, please help us! What's happening? Who are you? We're refugees from Barwood, the town that's a mere hour's ride from the front lines. But 2 months ago, the demons reached our homes. They burned our beloved town to the ground. Yes, it's as my wife says. Barwood is nothing but ash and ruin now. We took our families and walked all the way to the capital on foot to seek the help of our benevolent ruler. But our benevolent ruler doesn't even want to see us. Look past them to see the throng of refugees crowding around the guards, pressing closer to the throne room entrance. How long have you been waiting for an audience? Since morning. We've run out of supplies and money. We're hungry. I want to call the Empress a kind ruler, so I'm not shocked that she doesn't give a damn about the refugees. She hasn't wanted to see them since morning. I doubt she ever will. I have no idea how to break the news to the couple. They're looking at you with such expectancy. I want to help them. No, I will help them. Levi, can you run to the kitchen and bring water and some bread and butter for the refugees? The kitchen staff don't want to cooperate. Tell them the Saintess sent you. I'll go talk to Prince Noah. Maybe he can help, or at least tell me what else we can do for the refugees. Yes, my lady. Levi bows to me and runs off. You're the Saintess, my lady? The Saintess! What I see in the eyes of the crowd now is reverence, and the emotion scares me. I'm just me, Celeste. I don't feel like a holy person. Still, I suddenly understand what the Saintess means to the common folk. People step closer, extending their arms to grab me. I grow afraid. Levi's not with me. I gotta go. I'll be back with help soon. I turn around and bolt away from the crowd, running as quickly as my feet can carry me. Saintess means so many different things to different people. Hello, save menu. A savior, a noble of high standing, a perfect archer. Yet why do I feel like none of those titles suit me? Still, I want to help the refugees, so I run to Noah's office. Noah's secretary leads me into the office where the prince is meeting with Tarek. Lady Celeste de Curie, Saintess of the Golden Bow. I curtsy quickly and sloppily. Noah's office is spacious with a large green rug in the middle and several pieces of expensive-looking artwork on the wall. I'm not interested in the decor right now, though. Oh, if it isn't the Saintess, you look radiant today. Must be. Don't start now, Noah. Noah drops his usual smirk, sensing that I'm serious. What's going on? I'm at a group of refugees from Barwood in front of the throne room. They've been waiting for an audience with the Empress since morning. They're thirsty, hungry, and have festering, badly tended wounds. There are men, women, and small children there, whole families who have run here from the battlefront. Yet the Empress doesn't want to see them. Please help, Noah. Noah gives me a long look, his expression angry. Even for my mother, this sort of behavior is too much. I agree with him, but it's not my place to say anything. Thank you for bringing the matter to my attention. I'll do anything in my power to help them. I'll find the refugees new homes in the capital, and I will make sure they're fed. Thank you, Noah. What is the palace guard doing when there are so many people in need here? Guard is protecting the entrance to the throne room. That's... a word with William. Clearly the Empress doesn't want to deal with the refugees. Celeste, could I ask you a favor? What is it? Could you go by the priest's office and summon a healer or two who can tend to the refugees? I would send one of my own people, but I'm not sure who's on the side of the Empress and who's loyal to me anymore. I think the matter of the refugees should be taken care of quietly behind my mother's back. Tarek will help me arrange accommodations and food for the refugees, but I would like them to be healed as well. I don't trust anybody else not to blabber about what we're doing. Of course, I can go to the church wing and talk to the priests. I'm sure they'll be happy to help once they're aware of the matter. I nod, say my goodbyes, and leave the office. I've never been to the wing of the palace where the priests reside, and neither is Celeste, so I ask the servant for directions. Soon I find the door to the priest's office. I knock. Come in. Enter the lavishly decorated room. To the left, numerous cabinets support shelf upon shelf of thick-spined books, while a large beautiful painting hangs on the opposite wall. 3 people sit behind desks. To my left, a green-haired man with a scowl on his face is looking through the large stacks of papers, not sparing me a glance. His table is decorated with shining crystals. How curious. To the right, a priestess with curly red hair looks up from the architectural plans of a huge building where she's been drawing something with red ink. She gives me a pleasant smile. At the podium in the back is Elijah's desk. The high priest gives me a surprised look when he sees me. You've come to visit me so soon, Saintess. That's the Saintess? The woman looks me up and down, then smiles again. I'm happy to finally meet you. I'm Meredith, overseer of the construction of the cathedral in Solus. Didn't even know there was a cathedral being built in the capital, further evidence of how little Celeste cares about anything other than hunting and horse riding. The Saintess, I'm Gareth, Elijah's right hand. Gareth barely spares me a glance. He must be really busy with organizing his paperwork. I'm here because I want to ask you a favor, High Priest. It's fine to call me Elijah. How can I help? I needed the small voice break. It's fine to call me Elijah. How can I help? I look at Gareth and Meredith, unsure if I should speak while they're here. Gareth and Meredith are my most trusted people. You can tell me anything you need in their presence. Is something wrong? I guess if Elijah thinks it's fine, then I'm okay to speak with his 2 subordinates around us. A crowd of refugees is gathered outside the throne room. They've come from Barwood near the battlefront and want an audience with the Empress. They wish to ask her for help. They have nothing but what they managed to salvage from their town before it burned. They're hungry and badly wounded. But the Empress doesn't want to see them. Please, Elijah, could you use your light magic to heal their wounds? Of course I will. You don't have to ask me twice. Gareth, you will come with me. What? With the paperwork? The documents can wait. I know how much you hate having to organize them anyway. Healing's not a break, but I'll help. Gareth gets up from his seat and grabs 2 heavy bags from underneath his desk. Supplies to clean wounds and apply medicine the non-magical way. Blah. Let's go. Meredith, please take care of the office while we're away. Of course. Elijah, Gareth, and I leave the priest's office and walk to the corridor in front of the throne room. Both Noah and Levi have returned. Levi and other servants are distributing water and bread from the kitchen to all the people in need. Wearing a serious expression on his face, Noah talks with the couple I spoke to earlier. Tarek takes notes from the conversation on a notepad, her quill moving quickly and efficiently. As soon as Elijah and Gareth see the extent of the refugees' injuries, they throw themselves into action, starting with the most seriously wounded. Their hands glow as they use their healing magic. Is there anything I can do to help? Ask Noah if there's anything else you can do. I approach Noah, listening to his conversation as he speaks with the couple I talked to earlier. I'm the mayor of Bartwood, or rather I used to be. Now I'm just the mayor of Ruins. Our home's burned to the ground. I'm so sorry for your loss. The man huffs. It's war, and the front line's been shifting towards Barwood for months. And so we held on to hope that the saint would be chosen before our homes were destroyed. That miracle didn't happen, but the man looks at me. At least now we finally have the Saintess. Maybe once the Demon Queen is defeated, the ruins of our town will stop burning, and we can return home and rebuild Barwood. So it's true that the fire the demons cast on buildings is ever burning. We stayed in the area for a week to organize ourselves for our journey here. The town was still burning when we ran off. We sent scouts to town to see if anything was salvageable. When they returned, they said the fire was still as hot and widespread as when the demons first attacked. It must be magical. That's valuable information for our quest. Our party will most likely have to pass through Barwood on our way to defeat the Demon Queen. If that's truth, the town has finally stopped burning when we arrive, we will search the ruins. Thank you, but I doubt anything of value remains in Barwood. That chapter of our lives is over. I just want to move on now. I'll help you as much as I can. The Empress doesn't seem to want to get involved in the situation, though. It's her job to handle matters regarding refugees. I must go behind her back to help you out, so I'll need to be careful in how I approach the situation. We appreciate any help you can offer. The man looks around. You're already helping plenty by distributing the provisions and healing the wounded. I want to help further, though. I can organize accommodations for you and help your people find jobs, too. I can provide rations until you're all ready to stand on your own feet. You would really do so much for us? Won't the Empress get angry with you for getting so involved with us? She will, but it won't be the first time I've gone against her. I'm leaving the palace in 3 weeks anyway. I won't have to deal with her anger for long. Is there anything I can do to help? In my office, I have a ledger with addresses of people who agree to provide shelters should a situation such as this one arise. The information is a bit disorganized, so I won't ask you to be the one to pull it from the book. Tarek is familiar with how I noted down everything. Tarek, please go to the office and use the information in the ledger to make a list of homes that should be able to take in refugees. Understood. In the meantime, Celeste, you can help me talk to the families here. We should note down which people want to stay together so we can assign the families to the homes more easily later. Is that plan alright with you? Of course. I want to help however I can. Excellent. You want to be the one to talk to the families or the one taking notes? Can I risk Noah realizing that I'm unable to write in the language of the Lokari Empire? A noble lady who couldn't write would be very strange. Light gave me an option that doesn't require writing. I'd rather talk to the people. Alright, let's get started then. Tarek leaves for Noah's office, and Noah and I approach the families one by one. There are really a lot of people here, but everyone's very cooperative, so we managed to compile a list in 2 hours. The sun sets, the sky turning dark. Tarek returns with her own list. It's about the same size as ours, from what I can tell. I'm surprised there are so many people here ready to help those in need. It took me a few years to find willing contacts. Still, some of them may refuse us. Regardless, we should have enough space to house everyone. If not, I will buy out a few inns while I look for more people to help. I give Noah a long look. They say you're the Mad Prince, but all you do is disobey the Empress. Of course, I know from the book that there's a lot more to Noah than that reputation. Yet Celeste's only opinion of him is based on Noah being the Mad Prince. And do you agree with that image of me? I do see you as someone who's not afraid to speak up, even if doing so means going against the Empress. You're also a well-organized and charismatic leader. Well, rumor has it that you're the Count de Curie's good-for-nothing daughter. Look at you now, organizing help for refugees. Can't stand by when they see people in need. I appreciate the sentiment. Not everyone is as ready to aid others. I might have said before that all one needs to be a Saintess is good skill in archery. However, for the last 2 decades, while waiting for the bow to choose its own wielder, the idea of the Saint became a beacon of hope for our people. They need the chosen one to be so much more than just a talented archer. I'm glad that Golden Bow chose someone who cares for the well-being of others. Noah's right. The more I learn about the role of the Saintess, the more I realize there's more to the position than shooting an arrow at the Demon Queen's heart to kill her. Thank you for helping. You were right to come to me. I'm glad you did. Noah and Turek started assigning people to their temporary homes. Since I can't be of any more help, I excuse myself back to my room. I'm tired. At the same time, I'm happy I was able to help the refugees. Aim and release. So in the next 2 days, practicing archery with renewed purpose. The threat of the Demon Queen's army feels more real to me after having witnessed the plight of Barwood's refugees. I know who I'm fighting to keep safe, and I'm ready to do more. This war isn't just part of a story anymore. It's really happening. Arg! I miss again. The Golden Bow doesn't want to listen to me. I feel like it's actively fighting me. Hey, man. The idea is ridiculous, though, isn't it? It's just a bow with magic. It couldn't really be sentient like Elijah said, or could it? Release. Yeah, I'm living in a fantasy world, so isn't everything theoretically possible? I know there are some bounds to magic, but I haven't been thoroughly trained on the topic, so I'm not sure of the specifics. I miss again. Stupid bow. Even so, I don't give up. I aim and shoot again. I miss again and again. Sometimes I hit the target, only to miss over and over again once more. Ouch! At some point I pulled the bow wrong. Maybe I'm tired from making arrows fly like crazy over the past few days. My hand is bleeding. Look at the redness gathering in my palm. Can't continue shooting the bow with an injured hand. Even if I bandage my hand, I won't be able to shoot. The motion will hurt too much. I need healing. Healing magic is still a strange concept to me as someone from Earth, yet holy magic would indeed close the wound quickly, so I could continue my training. I've already seen proof of Elijah and Gareth's healing skills during the situation with the refugees. Gosh dang it. Okay. Be nice if the right click wasn't pulling up the save menu, because I accidentally hit it a lot. I look around trying to find Levi. I see him engaged in mock combat with one of the other knights. I don't want Levi to find out I'm injured. From what I have seen in Celeste's memories, he always flips out whenever his lady is hurt. I'll just seek out the priest on my own. I know the way to the priest wing now. I shouldn't need much time to get this wound healed and return here. I make my way through the corridors of the palace. I pass by the chapel. The door's open, so I peek inside. Why does it look like the bow is still there? Elijah is standing in front of the pedestal where the golden bow looks to still be, his hands joined together in prayer. He has a contemplative look on his face. He must be praying to the god of light. I know it's probably just because the background hasn't been drawn yet without the bow, but it's like, He could heal my hand, but I don't want to interrupt this serene scene. Just when I'm about to leave, I hear his voice behind me. You're free to approach me whenever you want. I turn around and step into the chapel. I'm sorry you were praying. I didn't want to interrupt you. That's so. I can pray anytime, but I can only talk to you when you're around. Somehow I'm embarrassed by his words, but in the smirk on his face. First Noah, and now Elijah. Why do all the guys around Celeste want to flirt with her so badly? I suppose I can officially assume that Elijah is into me. What exactly about Celeste, about me, do they find so interesting? Their interest could work in my favor, given the love requirement for defeating the Demon Queen. If only I wasn't myself and knew how to flirt with a guy. Elijah comes closer to me. He looks down and notices my bleeding hand. You're injured. I was just going to the priest's wing to get my hand healed. I overdid it at archery practice. You want to just get this wound patched up so you can overdo it all over again? We're leaving in 3 weeks. There's no time for me to not practice using the bow. How's the training going? Slowly, I still feel like the golden bow doesn't want me to wield it. I can't wrap my head around the concept of the bow being sentient. You're convinced it doesn't want to shoot for you. Maybe you're the one blocking its power. Maybe he's right. I'm an uneducated person who has no comprehension of magic. Perhaps I'm rejecting the golden bow instead of the other way around. I'm not sure. I need to think about it. Look down at my hand. Elijah follows my gaze. May I heal you? Yes, I would be happy if you did. I need to touch you to do so. He's noticed how I've been responding to his touch and his magic so far. Just being near Elijah makes me embarrassed. You can touch me to heal me. Elijah takes my hand in his own. I can't help but feel shy. His magic pours into my hand slowly, its power bringing me that pleasant feeling of being home. The wound closes in a minute, fully healed, leaving no scar. Elijah lets go of my hand. I use every ounce of my will to resist reaching out to him. Why does this magic have to have such a strong effect on me? Here, don't overdo the archery practice again. Though I'm sure you will anyway. Come by my office if you're bleeding again. I hate to see you hurt. He does? That's kind of sweet. Or is such a response normal from a healer? There's so much I don't know about Elijah. Hello, right click. His role in the book was mostly to be part of the love triangle between himself, Levi, and Noah. The novel didn't go into as much detail about him as it did about Noah and Levi. Did Elijah have a lover in the church before the events of the book happened? Or had he never been in a relationship? I don't think I'm close enough to him to ask about his love life. But maybe one day I will be, and the mystery of Elijah will unravel itself. What is it? Elijah notices how quiet I've been. Ah, thank you! No problem. What's on your mind? He's not on the subject. Forgive me if I shouldn't ask this question, but we've interacted a few times so far, and I realize I know so little about you. Elijah laughs, a cheerful and carefree sound. Why would you want to know more about me, of all people? I'm not really sure why I'm so interested in Elijah. I can't deny the truth, though I really do want to know more about him. Fine, I'll tell you something else about me. Oh, he's taking pity on me. Well, I am interested in hearing what he has to say. I have 3 brothers. I was born a commoner, a farmer's son. When I turned 10, my affinity for light magic was tested, and I found out I was very strong at wielding holy powers. That's when my parents decided to give me to the church. I spent the next 10 years training as a priest and honing my magical skills. Do you miss your parents? I've seen them only 3 times since they gave me up, so no, I don't. We don't have a strong connection. Same with my brothers. If anything, my family was relieved to have one less mouth to feed. That's cruel. That's just life. Farmers don't have it easy, especially with the threat of the demons looming closer and closer each year. My parents have a farm that's only a week away from the battlefront by horseback. Should nothing change and the demons continue to advance, the farm will be destroyed by the end of the next decade. He talks about the possible destruction of his parents' farm with such a detached tone. He really doesn't have warm feelings for his family. My colleagues from the church quickly became my family, Gareth and Meredith mostly. We all graduated from the church's collegium together 2 years ago. A month later, I turned 18, so it was time for me to test to become the saint. Many people thought I would be the chosen one, given my strong affinity for holy magic. I even took some archery training to prepare, realizing the odds were high for me to be the saint. I'm nowhere near skilled at shooting the bow. Nowhere near very skilled at shooting the bow. Yet the golden bow didn't choose me. However, the time came for the head of the church to change. So, knowing I wasn't the saint, taking into account my achievements and skills, the previous high priest nominated me for the position. I was selected and became the new high priest. I've held the role ever since. Do you like being the high priest? It's a lot of paperwork and making major decisions. I do enjoy the job, most of the time. Has the information I've given you about me satisfied your curiosity? truth be told, I was more interested in small things like Elijah's favorite food or color. Though I shouldn't be. We're nowhere near close enough to ask about such personal details. The tidbit he shared about his relationship with his family was new to me, but the rest I already knew from the book. None of it helped me figure out why I'm so interested in Elijah. Still, I feel like it would be improper to do anything else at this point, but nod and agree with him. Yes, thank you for sharing more about yourself with me. I'm happy to quench your thirst for knowledge regarding myself. Now then, I need to return to the office. It was nice chatting with you, Saintess. We should talk more often. With those words, he walks out of the chapel without sparing me another glance. How curious. In a sense, I do know more about Elijah now, yet I also realize just how much more I might need to learn so I can figure out why I feel an attraction towards him. Shake my head. I've got training to do. Return to the training grounds. Levi hasn't noticed my absence. I'm glad. I didn't want to worry him. Take the golden bow in my hand and stare it down. You're not going to win against me. And knock an arrow in the bow again and aim. Continue training until I tire myself out. The next day comes and I realize it's time for Duchess Penelope's tea party. I almost want to pretend I have forgotten about the occasion, especially when Eurydice and Linda waltz into my room to get me ready for the outing. A tea party is a more informal affair than the ball or an audience with the Empress, so I opt for a more modest dress. We arrive at the royal gardens just in time for the event. Tables are set up and laden with so many kinds of colorful cakes that my mouth waters. If only I wasn't a noble lady, I'm supposed to mind my manners and eat daintily, otherwise I would have taken a full cake of each flavor all for myself. Considering how physically demanding archer training was, I could use some extra calories anyway. That's Duchess Penelope. Let's approach and greet her. Eurydice points to a lady whose long purple hair is adorned with a butterfly pin. While preparing me for the party with Linda, Eurydice made sure to drill information about the Duchess into me. Lady Penelope's family has a lot of land as well as a large palace in the countryside surrounded by beautiful gardens. Supposedly, there are a lot of butterflies flying around. Eurydice has been to the Ventus mansion a few times as part of Duchess Letitia's entourage. Oh, come on. Where am I? Search computer. Make sure. Did I, like, miss that line? Lady Penelope's family has a lot of land as well as a large palace in the countryside surrounded by beautiful gardens. Supposedly, there are a lot of butterflies flying around. Eurydice has been to the Ventus mansion a few times as part of Duchess Letitia's entourage. Although Penelope is only in her late 20s, she's one of the most important players in the politics of the Lokari Empire. Her influence is second only to Duke George's. Duchess Letitia has a large following of nobles as well. To be precise, Penelope and George are the leaders of two powerful opposing political factions. Duchess Letitia has her own following and doesn't engage with the two of them often. This war is nothing. It's so far away and doesn't concern those of us who are in the capital. Why should we worry about something that will never bother us? You're right, Lady Penelope. Are the demons even real? Hold back a long sigh. Duchess Penelope is the leader of the faction that believes less money should be spent on the war with the Demon Queen. Didn't realize until now that her beliefs were this stupid. Meanwhile, Duke George believes the Emperor should engage more directly in the war. He'd also like that more money to be invested in technological research so that the army can be better equipped to fight fiends. In his opinion, the Empire needs to be ready to stand its ground until the Saint emerges. So now that I've been chosen as a Saintess, the army only has to hold the front line until I can defeat the Demon Queen. I side firmly with George's beliefs. He isn't here today though. This tea party seems to be a woman-only event. Even if it wasn't though, I doubt Penelope would have invited her nemesis to her private gathering. I mean, have any of us ever even seen a demon? What if they're nothing more than a myth? The Briarwood refugees beg to differ. Eurydice gives me a look, clearly telling me to hold back my comments. Yet I can't stand by and listen to the Duchess's stupidity any longer. I have, you know. Have what? I've seen the demon. Penelope looks between me and Eurydice. Her cruel smile from the night at the ball returns. My blood freezes in my veins. Well, if it isn't the daughters of Count Decoraria, Eurydice and the Saintess? Celeste, was it? Oh, she knows very well who I am. I bet the whole court has been gossiping about me ever since I got chosen to be the Saintess. That's right. Hello, Lady Penelope. Thank you for inviting us to your tea party. I thought it would be entertaining if we got to talk to the Saintess, considering her reputation. So tell me, Lady Celeste, did you really kill a demon? I was right. Gossip really has been spreading about me. Yes, that's true. The whole gathering of noble ladies lets out shocked gasps. She couldn't have. That's so savage. I bite my lip. I should have expected such a reaction. I'm far from the norm when it comes to acting like a noble lady. Why did I agree to come here? Now, it's not like Lady Celeste could control the fact that a demon attacked her. She merely acted in self-defense. By killing the imp by herself, she saved her own life. I turn around and give the lady who spoke up a grateful look. She has long, braided orange hair and a kind smile. Duchess Letitia. Still, being attacked by a demon, it's not something she could control. Right. Lady Penelope huffs. She walks over to one of the cake tables. When she turns around again, she claps her hand and has a smile on her face that could almost be considered pleasant. Let's get the tea party started. I'm so looking forward to the shortcake. The atmosphere changes instantly. Excited chatter ensues as the ladies make their way over to the cake, taking a little bit onto each of their plates. Servants are nearby, but we're supposed to choose cakes for ourselves today. Eurydice sits down with Lady Letitia's entourage. I'm not sure where I should sit. I don't recognize anyone else except my sister and her favorite lady. Sit down with us. I nod, relief is washing over me. I take a seat next to Eurydice. There's one more free seat next to me, but nobody takes it. Amongst small talk, we dig into the cake. Thankfully, I know the proper way to eat sweets, so I don't embarrass myself this time. The talk at Duchess Letitia's table is much more pleasant than any conversation with Lady Penelope. I relax. At some point, Lady Letitia gives me a pointed look. You really should be more careful about what you're saying, Lady Celeste, for your own good. But what Duchess Penelope said was just stupid. The other ladies gave me a startled look. Letitia looks out alongside. That's what I'm talking about. It's fine to have your own opinion. Nobody will force you to agree with her. But you're the Saintess now, an important person in the political climate of the Lokari Empire. You may not feel like your role has changed, especially since your reputation still follows you. However, people are listening carefully to everything you say or do. You're a public figure now. I bite my lip and looked away, embarrassed. I'm sorry that I'm so inadequate. Duchess Penelope doesn't believe the war is important. Duke George has the opposite opinion. If you wish, you may formally join the side of either of them. You may choose to stay politically neutral, like I am. You're focused on the quest to defeat the Demon Queen now, but a time will come when you return from your journey, you will still be the Saintess. Think carefully on what you want to do. Right. It may be that the demon army will disperse once their leader is slain. We may have to fight the remaining demon hordes for decades to come. The debate between Penelope and George may become unimportant, or it may grow into the most heated topic of the court. Be mindful of what impact your words have and choose them wisely. Thank you for your advice. The Duchess has really given me something to think about for the future. I've been so focused on my training that I haven't thoroughly considered the politics of my situation. Lady Letitia is right though. The Saintess is more than just a tool to end the war. I'll think carefully about what you said. What's with the long faces? Someone slides in the seat next to me. A man. What's a man doing at an all-girls party? Turn around and see Noah sitting next to me with a wide grin on his face. Noah, what are you doing here? I was taking a break from work and decided to go for a walk in the gardens. I saw you having a fun tea party, so I figured I'd crash it. Just like that, you figured you'd crash it? Perks of being the crown prince. I glare at Noah. He chuckles. This table is talking about serious matters, though. Why don't you ladies enjoy yourself more? Especially you, Celeste. I hear you're training really hard. I am? That's good. I like women who know their way around weapons. I blush at the implication of what Noah just said. He's flirting with me again, making me embarrassed, and this time he's doing it in front of a table full of wide-eyed, noble women. Noah? I give the prince a serious look. Why are you teasing me so much? My words startle him. Why? Please stop flirting with me. It's really bothering me. You're saying the wrong signals, acting like you're really interested in me. You don't know me enough to be so casual with me. I shouldn't be this casual with him either, but his words set the tone of this exchange, and now I can't hold back the bite from my voice. What if I have a good reason for flirting with you? Oh, so he's agrees he's been flirting with me this whole time? What good reason? I rather enjoy seeing you both blushing and mad. You're a great distraction from organizing the party for our quest. Besides, you know I can be serious when needed. He's referring to when we worked together to resolve the refugee situation. I can't help but feel mad, regardless. I don't want to be your distraction. Please stop teasing me. Noah throws his head back and laughs. There you are, getting all mad and flustered again. That shade of blushing pink looks lovely on your face. Noah! Prince, Noah, this is supposed to be a women-only tea party? That's just Penelope approaches us with a frown on her face. I've had my fill of Celeste's expressions anyway, so I'll be going. Noah, people will get the wrong idea. Have you ever seen me care about what the court says about me? I haven't. They call him the Mad Prince, though, and he was really living up to his name right now. Bye, Celeste. Good luck on the training. Goodbye, ladies. The cake was excellent. Managed to sneak a bite of cake during a conversation. Now he loads a bunch of cakes onto a plate before finally walking off. I wish I could act with so much freedom. Yet Lady Letitia just told me I can't act how Noah does. A shame, really. Let's continue the tea party. The rest of the party is uneventful, if a bit boring. However, considering how hard I've worked the past week, I appreciate being able to just sit down and take a part in light conversation. This was right about this outing being good for me. I avoid interacting with Lady Penelope and their entourage for the rest of the party, sticking with Letitia and her ladies instead. I don't embarrass myself any further. A few days later, after countless failed attempts at accessing the Golden Bow's magic, I visit the priest's office again. Saintess? Elijah's here with Gareth and Meredith again. I'm actually gonna drop a save, just in case. Elijah's here with Gareth and Meredith again. Gareth gives me a small wave, not looking up from his paperwork. Meredith smiles and nods to me before returning her attention to the plans in front of her. I want to talk to Elijah. I've got some questions about religion. Know thy enemy, or so they say. In this case, my enemy is either the Golden Bow or the God of Light himself. I know too little about either to face them head on. Is that so? Elijah gives me a wide-eyed look. He walks to the door on the right side of the office and opens it. Let's not distract your Earth and Meredith then. Come in. He gestures to the door. Walk up to the podium and enter the room. Find myself in a cozy living room with beige decor. Plants are even more plentiful here than in the office. What is this place? We're in my apartment. This is my living room. Sit down. I'll make us some tea. Elijah disappears through another door, leading deeper into his apartment, or so I assume. I sit down on the couch, trying to relax. Elijah returns after a while and pours us both some tea. He takes a seat in the armchair. Do you like plants? I gesture to the decor around us. I do. They are God's creations, and they feast on the light he gives and helps them grow. Does Elijah know about photosynthesis? The view he just shared must be some myth of the religion that's surprisingly close to scientific reality. What would you like to know about our religion? Oh gosh. Can you remind me how the world came to be? First there was darkness, there was no life. Then a small spark appeared in the world. That spark formed the god of light. The god was lonely though, so he created our world as well as the sun and moon to shine down upon his creation. Then he breathed life into nature, but the world still felt empty and lonely to him. So he made various kinds of animals, some friendly and others dangerous. Finally he created humans, his most complex children. Afterwards, God made himself a home on the sun. From there, he watches us every day. At night, he sleeps, but the moon shines on the world as his guardian. Sounds like a pretty standard fantasy creation myth. Kinda boring, but it works okay for this world. At least the god in this story is benevolent. I guess evil comes from the demons and the lack of light. Darkness. Who exactly is the god of light? Can you tell me more about him? He doesn't have a mortal form, so he doesn't resemble us humans. Even so, he's often depicted as a human with wings, an angel. He's really just a formless mass of golden, glowing, warm light. I frown. That description reminds me of the time I was reincarnated. Is it possible I really met the god of light himself? Obviously, I can't ask Elijah about that encounter, or he might consider my story a blasphemy against his god. God of light loves us. He's kinder than any being in the world. And that's why, when the demons attacked, he gave us the means to defeat them. He is a deity that interferes with the mortal world, but not directly. He gave humans the golden bow crafted by the blessed blacksmiths, but he wouldn't just step down from his pedestal to instantly resolve our problems. Humans have to save themselves. He just makes doing so easier, especially if we believe that the golden bow really is the only weapon that can defeat the demon queen. 2 decades of trying to kill her through different means are proof enough that the logic of the book is sound. Who is the blessed blacksmith? Who exactly is the blessed blacksmith? Clement Xeros. He's still alive though. Nobody knows, but the Empress knows where he lives. He's gone into seclusion. Too many people wanted to worship him as if he were the god of light himself. He preferred to live an ordinary life. As far as I know, he's a farmer somewhere to the west of here and has nothing to do with demons and religion anymore. Good for him. He's gone through enough for the Lucari Empire. I agree with that sentiment. You're wondering if he knows more about the golden bow than I do? The answer is... if he knows. Answer is no. He simply received the visions showing him what kind of weapon to create, and he made the bow from that image. The god of light blew his power into Clement's creation, and that's how the golden bow came to be. Why are the demons attacking the Lucari Empire? Why indeed? Demons are not of this world. 23 years ago, a portal opened to another world, the demon's domain. Beings poured out of the terror and reality. They want only to destroy all that is alive. They are pure evil. Their very existence is a blight on this beautiful world God created for us. However, as they are not made by God's hand, he cannot directly influence them. That's why he gave us the golden bow and chose its name. Now we'll be able to get rid of the Demon Queen using God's pure power embedded within the artifact. Hopefully once the Demon Queen is gone, the rest of the demons will stop attacking. That's my hope as well. That's all I'd like to know. That's all I'd like to know. Thank you for answering my questions. I'm always happy to help to talk to you about a topic that's close to my heart. There's one more thing I wanted to ask you. Question may be a bit random, but please hear me out. Is there any mention of love in the context of the religion of the God of Light? Love? Silence falls between us. Elijah gives me a long look. I let him think. There is God of Light's love for his children. There may be more in the large tome about the Lucari Empire that I have from my collegium years. It includes myth from ancient times. I haven't read the book for a while, so my memory is rusty. I can give it to you to browse. I won't be able to read the book since I don't know the Lucari Empire's alphabet, but he might think me rude and strange if I refuse him. I'll take the tome from Elijah or risk drawing suspicion upon myself. I would appreciate that. Elijah gets up from his seat and walks over to a large bookcase. He takes out a large book with a navy cover and hands it over to me. If something about love in the context of religion comes to mind, I'll find you and let you know. I take the book from him and nod. I realize that for the first time in a while, I have finally relaxed around Elijah. I've just been enjoying the conversation and tea. When he speaks of matters he knows well, he has an aura of serenity to him. But I can't help but notice something else in his expression. It's like an atmosphere of sadness surrounds him. When he smiles, his eyes don't always shine. to ask him. Elijah, why are you so sad sometimes? Before I can stop myself, the question pops out of my mouth. Sad? Elijah's eyes widen. He gives me a shocked expression and quickly looks away. When he looks back at me, he has a smirk on his lips. Are you asking because you want to cheer me up, Celeste? He winks at me. My cheeks heat up. He's flirting with me again. Obviously, his change in demeanor is a means to avoid my question, but I can't help feeling embarrassed. Never mind. Forget that I asked. Tell me everything I need to know. I'll sell you the book you gave me. Thank you, Elijah. Be on my way. I almost run to the door. Elijah's chuckle follows me out. I run out of the office as well. I don't want to deal with Meredith and Gareth asking me why I'm so pink in the face. I only relax when I'm back in my room. Looking at the heavy tome Elijah gave me, I let out a long sigh. Of saving the game again? Yes. Wish I could read this book. I really want to know if it contains anything important to the quest. I have no idea how to access the information on its pages. I can't read the Lokari Empire alphabet. It's a miracle that I can speak the language at the very least. Unfortunately, I won't be able to learn how to read and write in the short time that remains before we embark on the journey to the Demon Queen's castle. What should I do? Knocking on the door takes me out of my grim thoughts. Lady Eurydice de Curie has arrived. Levi's voice can be heard from the other side. I wasn't expecting Eurydice today, but she often pops in at random times to see me in between all the tea parties she attends. I'm always happy to see Celeste's twin sister. She can enter. Eurydice enters the room with a bright smile and a spring in her step. She walks over to the vanity where I'm sitting, hunched over Elijah's now closed book. You're reading the Almanac of the Lokari Empire. You know this book? Yes, of course. It was required reading for us when we first started learning about the Empire and the God of Light. It's not an easy read. You almost threw your copy out of the window in frustration. Sounds like something Celeste would do. Still, if Eurydice knows the contents of this tome, I might be able to get the information I need from her. Do you remember the content of the Almanac well? I think so. Our tutor has memorized passages, and I wasn't as resistant to the idea as you were. Why did you pick up this hated read again? I got the tome from Elijah. He said it might be beneficial for me to review the contents again. I'm getting a headache trying to sift through the writing. Sounds like you alright. You can ask me what you want. If I remember what the book said about the topics, I'll share. Thank you for your help, Eurydice. You're a blessing. What would you do without your sister? You would be quite lost if not for me. There's nothing else I can do but agree with this statement. How are religion and the history of the Empire connected? How are the religion of the God of Light and the history of the Lokari Empire connected? The first emperor, ages ago, was blessed with the power of light magic. He's also the first high priest who founded the Church of the God of Light. Wait, so the two positions were part of a single role at first? Yes, that situation was how the Lokari Empire came to be called the Sun. He represented God himself amongst mortals. He was the closest thing to God in the mortal realm. Later, the function of the Emperor and the High Priest became separated. One of the Emperors did so for practical reasons. Ruling over the Empire and taking care of holy matters at the same time was just too much of a strain. The Empress Consort, the wife or husband of the Emperor, was called the Moon of the Empire based on the role of the moon in the creation myth. She was the rule over the Empire if the Emperor ever got ill or wasn't present in the palace due to going to war. So currently, Empress Mirel rules over the Empire. Yes, their Emperor Consort is... Her Emperor Consort is Lucius, who comes from the kingdom of Durandal in the south. Does the book mention anything about Durandal? Can you tell me more about Durandal? We're allies with them, right? Durandal has a warmer climate, and their people have a much different culture than the people of the Lokari Empire. However, when both countries were attacked by demons once long ago, the Empress looked past her differences and proposed an alliance with Durandal. Thus, her first Emperor Consort was a Durandal prince, Noah's father. He passed away 7 years after the alliance was formed. So the Empress married another Durandal prince, Lucius, her present husband. Is there anything about love in the context of religion? The Empire's religion in the book. Love? There's plenty about the God of Light's love for humans. It's not what I mean. I don't remember any other mentions of love. Why do you want to know? Something so strange. Uh-oh, I should be more careful with my questions. Yet love was the most important thing I was looking for in the tome. Still, I can see how the question might be seen as strange. Never mind, I was just curious. That's all I want to ask for now. Alright, the first 100 pages mostly detail the Lucaria ruling system, but I doubt the information would interest you much. Not really. Next, the book talks about the creation myth, but you know that story by heart since Mom told us it so many times in our childhood. I nod. Elijah had reminded me about the creation myth recently. Eurydice mentioned their mother makes me... Eurydice mentioning their mother makes me feel a pang of sadness and regret. She passed from an incurable illness when Eurydice and Celeste were both young. Celeste has some memories of her, but they are faded. Celeste and Eurydice's mother resembled Eurydice in personality. She was a sweet, kind woman. How she put up with father's tyrannical ways is difficult for me to understand. Yet she must have loved him, despite everything he was. How the Church of the God of Light operates and the fundamentals of religion are detailed in the book as well. But that information is boring to anybody who doesn't wish to become a priest. I'm fine with my current role. Eurydice chuckles. I didn't expect you to be interested in joining the church. Then the book lists a bunch of myths connected to the ancient Lokari Empire, but I can't say I have a good recollection of them all. They're just legends anyway, and may or may not have any truth to them. Those ancient stories may hold the answers to my questions, but if Eurydice doesn't remember the myths, then I can't pressure her to summarize them for me. I sigh. I won't be able to fully access the knowledge of this book after all. Still, Eurydice has helped me out plenty. Thank you, sister. There, I spared you having to read through this boring, heavy tome. You don't know how much I appreciate you for it. I can imagine. I spend the rest of the day just chatting and hanging out. I could use a break from my archery practice. My body is tired from the constant training. I don't feel like I'm any closer to forming a plan to defeat the Demon Queen, though. I also still don't understand how to access the Golden Bow's magic any better. At the end of the day, I remain frustrated with my lack of progress. The next day, while I'm hanging out in the living room of our apartment, Eurydice approaches me with a spring in her step. Celeste, we've got invitations to another ball! Oh no. Not another one of those painful social gatherings. Look! Eurydice hands me an envelope with a royal seal. The Empress's seal? Yes, these envelopes were inside the bigger one. The Empress formally invited Father, myself, and you to a ball tomorrow evening. Tomorrow? That's so little time to prepare! Yes, aren't you excited? Not at all. Aw, Celeste, don't be so dour. I'm sure the ball will be beautiful with good food, amazing music, and interesting conversations. You know I hate any kind of gathering of nobles. Can I refuse the invitation? No, you can't. Sorry, but not attending when you got a formal invitation from the Empress could anger her. I don't want to antagonize the Empress, it's just that... What am I supposed to do about my lack of etiquette knowledge? I'm not going to suddenly get a lot better at those skills by tomorrow evening. With all my archery practice, I've had no time to worry about learning to be a proper noble. There's a knock on the door. Paul, Eurydice's knight opens it. A message. Messenger from Duke George arrived for Lady Celeste. From Duke George? I bring word that my master Duke George would like to see Lady Celeste in 2 hours at the Royal Conservatory. Duke George wants to see me? Yes, that's right. I'm supposed to come back with a reply, my lady. I'll see His Grace. Thank you. I'll relay the information immediately. Messenger leaves. When the door closes, Eurydice turns to me. Her eyes are sparkling with curiosity. What's going on between Duke George and you? Nothing. I'm as clueless as you are. We've only spoken twice so far. He's a kind man, but I know very little about him. Duke George? Kind? He's always come off to me as a cold and very closed-off person. That's not how he acted towards me. How curious. I wonder what he wants from me this time. No way to find out except going to see him, I suppose. I'll call Linda and let you get ready in peace. And I'll send word that we're going to the ball. If we must. I'm afraid we'd have to. Alright then, do your worst. Laughing, Eurydice walks off to her room and I enter mine. Linda spends the next 2 hours getting me ready to meet Duke George. It's almost like preparing for a ball, considering I've been summoned by someone so important. All the while, I continue to wonder why George wants to see me. When I arrive at the conservatory, I'm in awe of the splendor of the large glass building. Plants I've only seen in books on the kingdom of Durandal fill out the greenhouse alongside vegetation from the Lokari Empire. In the middle of the room is a table laden with food of all kinds. George stands in front of it with a kind smile on his lips. Welcome, Lady Celeste. Your Grace, what's the occasion? I take another good look around. That's enough food for a party. Where's everyone else? There's only one servant in attendance, standing by the glass wall, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. Levi takes a spot next to him. There will be nobody else coming, it'll just be you and I. I haven't eaten lunch yet, so I thought I'd like to partake in the meal with you. I blink once, then twice. My mouth falls open. You want to eat with me? I want to scream at him to explain himself. What is it about me that interests him enough to offer me a table full of food as well as his prestigious company? Isn't he supposed to be one of the key players in Lokari politics? Does he want to ally himself with the Saintess? But I have no standing in the Empire. I'm the fourth highest ranking person in name only. George continues smiling, gesturing to the table. He's been nothing but kind to me so far. You hear this? Call him cold and detached, but that's not the impression I have of the Duke. Yes, that's right. I would go even further. I have a proposal for you. Oh, so he does want something in return for his gesture. I'd like to offer you a private etiquette lesson. You... What? Notice your lack of proper table manners during the last ball. I can't fix your lack of knowledge in one sitting, but at least I can help prevent you from getting embarrassed in front of the court. I'm surprised and a little touched by George's kind offer. But why do you want to help me? Perhaps I have an interest in you and would like you to feel better in your skin as a noble lady? Interest? What kind of interest? George chuckles. Nothing suspicious, I assure you. Now will you accept my offer to help? It's not like I have a choice. George is offering me exactly what I need right now. With tomorrow's ball coming up, I'm already stressed about my guaranteed poor performance at the table. If you can help me feel more at ease during the ball, maybe I'll actually be able to tolerate the social gathering. I should accept, even if I end up indebted to the Duke. Alright, I accept your kindness. Good. Sit down, please. He pulls out a chair for me. I sit down at the table and give the food a good look. George takes a seat next to me. He gestures to the utensils. Let's go over which utensil you should use for which type of food. We'll sample small bites of everything together. We spend the next hour nibbling at food while George slowly and carefully explains the proper etiquette to me. He tells me about the utensils, corrects my posture, gives me pointers about what to say and which topics not to broach during a meal. And those are all the basics you need to know. If you review everything I taught you once you return to your family's guest apartment, you should be able to recall most of the lesson for tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for your help. I can't have the Saintess, one of the most important people in the Lokari Empire, be belittled for not being a proper noble. Thank you. More importantly, I don't want you to have an anxiety attack again. You noticed? I saw that condition often during my time as a general and my soldiers. Lower field of view, trouble breathing, body shaking, wanting to bolt like an injured animal. I recognized all the signs in you during the last ball. I'm sorry I couldn't follow you out into the gardens. A noble cannot leave the dining table during a meal. I understand, so I made that big of a blunder. Your behavior won't win you any favors, but I fully understand the need to get away. You've been burdened with a huge responsibility, expected to fit a grand image people have created in their heads of you. I know how that feels, and I don't want you to suffer any further. We've all been formally invited to tomorrow's ball with Empress, so we cannot skip the event. That's why I thought I'd help you gain more confidence, so that you won't be as frightened. I really appreciate your kindness. You said you've seen a lot of suffering on the warfront? Maybe he'd like to share some of his burden with me. What I've seen doesn't matter right now. George's kind smile disappears, replaced by a cold expression. I need to prepare myself for the ball as well. Thank you for today's meal, Lady Celeste. He's completely shut me out. Oh no, I asked the wrong question. Of course, George has seen a lot of pain and death. He fought on the warfront. Why did I think he'd want to discuss those events with me, though? For a moment, I felt close to him, but in the end, we're still just strangers. Alright, I'll see myself out then. Thank you again. I curtsy and leave. George says nothing more to me. It's like an Arctic wind suddenly blew between us, taking away all his warmth. His warmth has... Save it again! Haha. Duke George is really a mysterious figure. I can't let my guard down around him. The time until the ball passes by like a blur. I practiced what George taught me with Eurydice. Soon I found myself seated in the throne room between Duke George and Duchess Penelope again. Let's see. Take a good look at the cutlery. I think I remember which piece is correct to use for each kind of food. Penelope has a smirk on her face, and I turn my head away and look at George instead. He gives me a small nod. The Empress starts the dinner, and I take small bites of the food on my plate. I use the correct forks and spoons. Penelope gives me a side eye, clearly disappointed when she finds no fault in me. I relax, listening to beautiful music. In no time, the dinner's over. Say, Saintess. When Lady Penelope strikes up a conversation with me, my breathing quickens again. What if I say something wrong? Lady Celeste, would you like to dance with me? I turn my head in the other direction and see George standing next to me with a kind smile, his hand outstretched for me to take it. If I dance with George, I can avoid embarrassing myself in a conversation with Penelope. Conversation with the Empress, who's nearby, may overhear. The only problem is I can't dance. Maybe George will be able to lead me through the dance, though? I remember, it would be a slight to refuse him when he so publicly asked me to dance. All eyes at the table are on us. I swallow hard and take George's hand, getting up from my seat. With pleasure. George's smile grows as he leads me to the center of the ballroom. He gives the band this small wave and they change the music to something more suitable for dancing. Not that I know what the dance is, the tune sounds like something formal. You worry so hard, your thoughts are etched on your face. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll lead you through the dance, don't worry, just leave everything to me. We take a starting position and George gently moves me. Is there a way to like... see a way to just see the background? It's kind of sad. I think there'll be something. We take a starting position and George gently moves me through the dance. I follow his lead. The motions are repetitive enough that I find myself relaxing.
I wanted to talk to you again. In the privacy of dancing, I can ask you more than I could at the table.
You want to talk to me?
Yes, I do. First, I'd like to praise you for your etiquette skills. They have improved tremendously. You still lack confidence, but you didn't make any obvious mistakes tonight. Nothing any other noble at the table can scorn you for.
I'm glad.
You still need to improve the way you converse with nobles. But that'll be more of a process to master if you want to put effort into acquiring the skill. Good communication isn't something you learn overnight, after all.
I understand. I really...
Yes? What is it?
I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's because of you that I got through the meal without embarrassing myself. You didn't need to help, but you did. You're the kindest person I know.
I stare at George wide-eyed. His cheeks are deep pink. Did I embarrass him? Is there audio? Yeah, voice volume is all the way up. It's just really quiet. Did I embarrass him? He's so in control of himself at all times, and seeing him flustered is so cute.
I'm really, really grateful to you.
Enough of this. You'll be fine on your own for the rest of the night.
Song ends at that moment. George bows to me, takes my hand, and guides me gently back to the table. When I sit down, he leaves to take another lady to dance. Why did my heart flutter so much when I saw him blush, when he was so affected by my words? Why do I feel so lonely now that he's abandoned me? No, George didn't abandon me. He simply went to dance with another lady, as is proper when you're dancing with someone you're not courting. One dance per person. My heart is beating so quickly, but not out of fear. I'm attracted to George. I realize he's way out of Celeste or my league, and he's everything I'm not. A confident person, a dignified noble, a skilled general. And yet, an inkling of hope blazes my soul. Hope that George could also be interested in me. The rest of the ball passes by uneventfully. I strike up conversations with some noble lords and ladies, and thankfully manage not to embarrass myself further. Eventually, I redirect my attention to practicing horseback riding. I I forbid Levi from coming with me. I don't want him to know Celeste, who is supposed to be great at riding, is now completely unskilled on horseback. A few days of riding helped me improve a bit, though I'm still far from great on the horse. I decided to keep practicing instead of spending more days at the archery range. I'll be useless during the journey if I can't sit on the horse properly. Eventually, I return to practicing archery too. At some point, I become decently accurate with the cursed weapon. However, its magic still eludes me. Before I know it, 3 weeks have passed, and suddenly it's time to pack for the journey to the Demon Queen's castle. I'm just making back and says in case any more is added. Linda is the one doing the packing, but Eurydice is in the room too. You should take another pair of pants. Noah told us to pack light. We will have only 4 wagons for provisions and some luggage. Can't take too much with me. What if your pants get dirty? Then I'll wash them in the river. Celeste? What? There's a knock on the door. Linda goes to open it. Delivery from the High Priest to Lady Celeste. Elijah sent me something? Linda brings a package to where I'm sitting on the bed. I rip it open to reveal. No, he did not. He didn't send me. Oh, you should try this on this outfit right now. You look like a proper Saintess. I pale, bunching the dress in my hands. I know what this is. I saw Meredith wearing a similar outfit. No way. I'm not wearing a priestess's clothes. Priestesses of the Church of Light wear clothes similar to Christian nuns, complete with a veil. You should wear the clothes. It's a proper outfit for a Saintess. Levi never had to wear such a ridiculous outfit in the book. He had a robe similar to Elijah's. But the outfits for priests and priestesses are different in this world for whatever reason. Why? I'll help you dress. Ignoring my protest, Eurydice and Linda helped me into the priestess outfit. I look ridiculous. I love it! Oh my, like a proper Saintess. I hate you, Elijah, with all my heart. Later that day, the party gathers on the training grounds. Nobody bats an eye at me wearing priestess clothing. Am I the only one who finds the outfit ridiculous? Noah counts everyone. The party consists of 20 people. Noah, Tarek, Levi, and 5 other knights, 3 mages, 5 archers beside myself, Elijah, Gareth, and 1 other healer. Feels like a small group for such a grand quest. Still, the Empress seemed disinclined to budge on the number of people allowed in our party or on our deadline to leave for our journey. The quest goes well for us despite our small group and the little time we had to prepare. I'm worried. I don't feel ready when it comes to my skills. I can't change the situation though. I've done the best I could. Just hope my best will be enough. This feels like it's... Nope. We're still going. We ride for days. Only when we're close to being out of sunlight do we stop to make camp. I'm so tired from traveling at the end of each day that I immediately collapse as soon as I lay out my bedroll. Fortunately, I'm exempt from the night watch. We don't expect to be attacked by demons this far away from the front line, but you never know. The demon who attacked me near the decorated mansion wasn't supposed to be that close to the capital either. After another few days of riding, my back and butt are sore, but I feel myself getting used to the motion of being in the saddle for many hours. That, or I'm so tired that I just no longer care about the pain. A week into our journey, I finally feel comfortable enough with riding that I start being bored on the road. The other members of the party are freely talking while riding. Maybe I should engage someone too? So I with Levi, I wouldn't talk with him much. So I talk to Levi, who's always riding behind me. I guide my horse alongside his. Is everything okay? As much as it can be. Knows how tired you are from riding all day. That's not good. Would Celeste be as exhausted from horseback riding as I am? If there's anything I can do to make your days easier, don't hesitate to let me know. Thankfully, I think Levi is just being considerate. He doesn't look at me like I've done anything out of the ordinary. Let's try to say something in character. I've ridden the horse to the forest near a decorated mansion on many occasions, but never been in the saddle for so many hours every day. Hopefully my memories as Celeste are right and I'm telling the truth. True, we've also never been on horses for longer than a few hours. Phew! Are you not tired yourself? Levi blushes and looks away. Can't stop myself from chuckling. He's so adorable when he's shy. You are, aren't you? I might be tired, but I have to take care of you, so I have to be in top form at all times. I take a good look at the rest of our party. Some hunch their shoulders, some grimace and adjust their positions on their horse once in a while. Everyone's tired, aren't they? Yes, we're advancing on the quest with good speed, but the length of the journey will take some getting used to. Maybe we should tell Noah to slow down a little. There's no point in rushing. We have to be fully capable of fighting once we encounter enemies. The time when we had to fight demons would inevitably come. If anyone can convince the prince to slow down, it's you, Celeste. I'll talk to him at camp tonight. Thanks for letting me know I'm not the only person exhausted. No worries. We ride together in comfortable silence until a question pops into my head. In my mind. There's something I wanted to ask you. When it comes to the demons, what do we know about them? One that attacked me was an imp. Are there other types of demons? The demons are varied. Some attack alone, others in groups. They can all fly, and as far as I know, so the archers and mages had to bring the enemies down first for the front lines to dispatch them. The most common fiend types are imps, larger humanoid demons called devils, and what soldiers refer to as flying eyeballs. Flying eyeballs? I don't know whether to laugh or be afraid. They're cute until they shoot rays of energy from their eyes. That's strange. The demons speak a language none of us understand, so we don't know the proper names for their species. We call them by the names the soldiers settled on for them over the years. I understand. What about the Demon Queen? That demon's kind of strange. She can shapeshift, and those who have seen her say she's either a ridiculously large monstrosity or a beautiful human who with horns, a tail, and a third eye for her forehead. Either way, we will recognize her when we meet her. We should. If she doesn't come out of her castle, we'll have to go inside to hunt her down. Remember the castle of Duke Clamond that the Demon Queen took over years ago, according to the Saint of the Golden Bow? I wonder if the place will be the site of our final showdown with the ruler of the fiends. With how much reality has diverged from the plot of the book so far, any place and any time is a possibility for our battle with the Demon Queen. I swallow hard. We have to be ready for the encounter whenever and wherever it comes. Levi and I ride alongside each other for the rest of the day. In the evening, I approached Noah to ask him to slow our party's pace a little. We don't need to rush so much. It's not like they're expecting us back at the capital by some certain date. You're right. Noah lowers his voice to a whisper. Just my anxiety is getting the better of me. Don't worry, Noah. You've gathered a team of the very best people. As long as we're not exhausted by the time we reach the Demon Queen, we should be able to win. I hope you're right. No, you're right. I have to be the pillar of strength of this party. We will win. I'll make sure of that. I'll slow down our advance. Thank you, Noah. Over the next few days, we travel at a more relaxed pace. We still make good progress, but I'm less tired and have more time to rest each night. I'm glad Noah changed his mind about how hard he was pushing us. As the next week passes and we travel closer to the front line, we encounter the first demons. The flying eyeballs. I can see now why the soldiers gave them that name. The fiends come as a swarm, firing laser beams from their eyes. We dodge the attacks to the best of our ability, yet some cries of pain can be heard from the party. There's no time to waste being weirded out by how the demons look. I take the golden bow in my hand, aim, and shoot. I shoot and shoot until I've gotten rid of a group of fiends. The golden bow is surprisingly cooperative. I don't feel like it's fighting me as much as it usually does. Maybe the artifact light's being used for its intended purpose, defeating demons. Another swarm of flying eyeballs comes my way. We shoot and fire until we have defeated all the enemies. Phew, what a fight. It was the first real fight I've been in since the imp attacked me in the forest near the Decurie mansion. I feel much more prepared to fight demons now. I've spent a lot of time training since then. Still, as my adrenaline rush subsides, I suddenly become aware that my arms and legs are shaking. I take a seat with my back to a nearby tree. Are you alright? Levi runs up to me and kneels beside me. I'm not hurt. Don't worry. I'm just a bit overwhelmed by the fighting. If there's anything I can do to help. No, Levi. I just need to get used to real combat with enemies rushing at me to kill me. I'm not a trained combatant like you are, or at least I wasn't until all the training I recently completed. All I've done before is have prayed for support. Prayed it didn't fight against me with claws or rays of magic from their eyes. We're gonna encounter a lot more demons on our journey to defeat the Demon Queen. There's No time for me to mope around, but I can't stop myself from shaking. I'm sorry you have to go through this. If I could do anything to lessen your burden, I would. I know. Thank you, Levi. I can't be weak. I have to keep fighting. Everyone expects me to kill the Demon Queen. I have to stop being afraid. I know why the situation is so hard for me. I grew up in America in peace. I never had to consider fighting in a war, especially not against grotesque demons. I have to accept reality though. The life I had on Earth ended. I died. I belong to Celeste's world now. I'm Celeste, and I'm a Saintess. Everyone expects me to wield the golden bow with expertise so I can defeat fiends. With my resolve clearer, I feel the strength in my body return. I get up from my seat, taking Levi's hand. When I look around at the party, I see the priests healing the wounded. Everyone has such grim looks on their faces. Defeating demons is harder than I imagined. It seems the more experienced knights and archers also found the battle difficult. Noah's expression is serious as well. We should make camp here early today. We get to work on setting things up even though the sun is still high in the sky. I'm not as tired as I usually am. Is there anything I can do to help cheer everyone up? What if we throw a party today? I could have down some good game and then we could all eat a nice meal together and chat by the campfire? Usually we're all too tired if we set up camp to exchange more than a few words. Maybe today's the day we do things a bit differently? Levi, I'm going hunting. I'll be back in a few hours. Do you want me to come with you? Think about his question for a moment. Unlike Celeste, I'm not opposed to Levi's company. Yes, in case there are more demons around. But let's keep some distance between each other so we can hunt independently without a problem. Right. The next few hours pass with Levi and I out on the hunt. I come across a group of deer. I decided such a large game would be great for our party. Bringing back some large game to camp to add to whatever the other knights manage to catch will definitely leave us with enough food to eat a hearty meal and celebrate. Beats eating mostly salted meat and hardtack for another night in a row. When my life as Celine, I had nothing to do with hunting. In short, I don't have the skills Celeste possessed. However, I do have access to her knowledge, and she knew a lot about bringing deer down. I rely on her memories. Yes, I did it! I kill the deer I've chosen, spooking the rest of the group. They run off as I approach the carcass. It's dead. A pang of sadness goes through my heart. I've killed an animal, planning to eat it. However, I push the feeling aside. The world I live in now just works this way, and I have to accept that reality. Levi! I won't be able to bring the game back to camp on my own. The deer is too heavy for me to carry by myself. Yes, Celeste? After a few calls, Levi comes running over. He stops in front of me. Wow, did you kill the deer all on your own? Yes, it's perfect what I have planned for us. And what have you planned? We're gonna throw a party at camp to cheer everyone up. That's a cute idea, I have to say. The way he said the words makes me blush. I'm not cute. I'm supposed to be asked as a tomboy Celeste. Help me carry the game? Of course. Levi and I drag the deer back to the campsite. When night falls, the deer has been skinned. Not by me, of course. I doubt I'd be able to keep down the contents of my stomach if I had to prepare the meat on my own. Soon it's sizzling above the campfire. Oh, the scent is heavenly. People gather around the fire, chatting excitedly. Many approach me with gratitude in their eyes. Everyone's happy to eat a large, fresh meal for a change. As the others start taking off their armor and switching to casual clothes, I decide to do so as well. When I return from the tent, I usually share with Tariq and the other women from our party. See Levi dressed in his casual clothes now too, sitting by the fire. He's taken out his lute and is trying out a few notes. I've completely forgotten that Levi is musically inclined. The novel mentioned in passing that he sings and plays the lute. I'll get to experience his singing for real now. That's wonderful. Noah is sitting next to Levi drinking from a cup. He's also changed clothes, though his outfit is still plenty fancy. It's great to see everyone relaxing. I turn around to see Elijah behind me. He's changed his clothes as well. He looks good out of the priest's robes. We can't be doom and gloom all the time. Some fun is required now and then to keep our sanity. Is it now? Elijah trails off, looking to the side with a thoughtful expression. I want to ask him what he means, but Noah suddenly waves to me. Celeste, come over here. When When I look back at where Elijah was standing, he's already gone, wandered off to the side of the camp where Gareth and the other priests are opening a tall bottle. Did they bring alcohol with them on the quest? I suppose it's alright to drink from time to time. I approach Noah and Levi instead. When I come close, Levi starts singing a song. It's a happy tune, folk music about a party of adventurers who have fun solving people's problems by killing demons. I sit down on the other side of Levi. Noah nods at me with a smile, but doesn't say anything, and I keep quiet too. I don't want to interrupt Levi's singing. Levi has a wonderful voice, calming and fun to hear. Some members of the party start clapping to the rhythm, others move in a dance. The smell of the deer cooking is heavenly and makes my mouth water. The spirit that I fell into last week is lifted. My ideas of success. When the meat is ready, Tariq slices it up and serves everyone. We eat and drink, chat and laugh. Later, Levi continues to playing the lute and singing as people dance more. It's a happy time. Memory. I'm sure I'll look back on with fondness later. We may be going on a grand quest, but that fact doesn't mean we have to be serious all the time. Over the next week, we fight some more demons. The encounters increase in frequency as we near the front line. We pass by contingents of the army from the Lokari Empire and Durandal Kingdom. We exchange information and find out we're nearing Barwood, the new location of the front line since last month. Nobody has sighted the Demon Queen in any of her forms in the new battlefields yet. However, the soldiers suspect she is now holed up in the castle in Barwood. She used to call Cloudland Castle her home, another change to the novel's plot. In the book, Levi and his party fought the Demon Queen in the Cloudland Castle. A few more days passed, the merry mood that our group had after the party turns more serious again. We'll arrive in Barwood the day after tomorrow. Be ready for a huge fight. We're entering the real battlefield. Noah gives us instructions on how to fight as a party. We'll be divided into 4 formations and everyone will be assigned a specific area to defend. I'm in the same formation as Noah, Levi, Elijah, and a mage woman. Her name is Patrice, but I haven't talked to her much. We're the core of the party, the most important team. Noah, Levi, and Patrice are tasked to protect me along with fighting the demons. Elijah is there to provide healing should any of us get injured. I understand everything. We all confirm that we accept Noah's orders. Tonight, I find it hard to fall asleep. The seriousness of what's in front of us awakens fear in my heart. Will we be able to succeed on our quest? The next day is the last one where I'll be able to speak to my friends from the party in the calm setting, away from combat. Whom do I want to speak with the most? The following choice will lock you into the chosen character's route. We're gonna choose Levi. I bring my horse even with Levi, who's been riding alone. Levi gives me a gentle smile. Celeste? We're very close to Barwood now. How are you feeling about all the fighting we'll have to do? I'll protect you. That's not why I'm asking. Are you not scared? Only for your safety. I give him a long look, trying to decipher if he's joking. But Levi seems to fully believe what he says. He has a serious look on his face. This moment reminds me of the time he took a knee in front of me when we were 14 and swore to always protect me. You're giving me that look again? What look? The one that tells me you would die for me. It's the truth. It scares me, Levi. You should value your own life more. But your life is more important to me than mine. I bite my lip, stopping myself from chastising him. It's Levi's own choice to believe the purpose of his life is to protect Celeste. A pang of pain goes through my chest. I'm not the Celeste to whom he swore his oath. I'm not the person he wants to protect. I'm not the one he loves. Do I want to be? I'll make sure not to get in trouble. I don't want you to die. I would prefer not to die either. I can't protect you when I'm dead. Well, a long sigh. There's nothing I can do to change a single-minded devotion, is there? Why did Levi fall in love with Celeste in the first place? Since Celeste is only a part of Levi's backstory and Saint of the Golden Bow is Levi and Noah's love story, it's never explained in detail what he saw in Celeste. And I don't think it's appropriate to ask. Celeste never brought up that she was aware of Levi's feelings. I mean, anyone who's not blind can see Levi's adoration for his lady. If I actually tell him I know of his feelings, though, that admission would surely change the atmosphere between us, making our relationship more awkward. We should focus on the quest now. It's not the right time to talk about feelings. Even though love is supposed to be a vital component of defeating the Demon Queen, I Celine. I'm not in love with Levi, though. I'm attracted to him, and I like him as a person. But my feelings towards him are not enough to be called love. I need to change the topic for conversation to something lighter. Where do you learn how to sing and play the lute? Question takes Levi by surprise. He ponders for a moment before speaking. I just always really liked music. There's this old servant at the decorated mansion. His name is Peter, and he works in the stables. Ever since I was little, every 2 weeks when all of the servants gathered together to enjoy some time off after the completion of our work for the day, he would always play the lute for us. He saw I really wanted to learn to play the instrument, so he taught me. As for singing, I just always sing a lot when I'm alone because I enjoy it, and eventually all the practice trained my voice. I don't believe I'm great enough at either skill to be praised by you, my lady. There he goes with his shyness again. You're great, Levi. I really enjoyed listening to you play the lute and sing. Do you? Maybe I should do it more often for you then. I would appreciate that. Why did you choose to become a knight instead of a guard? Instead of a palace guard? I didn't really have a choice. Trainers from the Knight Order picked me up from the orphanage when I was 12. Said I have a right build and vast potential. I trained with them for 2 years. They decided then that I was ready to become either a knight or a palace guard. But the choice wasn't mine. Lord Decree came by the Order's quarters one day and picked Paul and me to become your and Lady Eurydice's knights respectively. I don't regret that he chose me. Paul is my sister's knight. He always follows her quietly like a shadow. Since Eurydice only ever goes to tea parties and balls, he doesn't have a hard job. Unlike Levi, who had to deal with Celeste always running away from him and now dragging him on a dangerous quest. Wouldn't you have preferred to be my sister's knight? What? Never. I mean, I like Lady Eurydice, but I can't imagine serving anybody other than you. I know, there's no way Levi would have given me another answer. What's your take on... That was weird. What's your take on religion? It's like the game just like half crashed or something. Am I like... What the heck is going on? Hold on. Save it. Title. Reload this. Okay, I think we've gotten rid of the weird Rempy errors. What's your take on religion? I believe in the God of Light as much as anybody else, but I'm not as devoted as the High Priest. Religion is a part of my life, but not the central part. It's the same for me. That's why I was so shocked when the Golden Boat chose me. And again, Levi wasn't a fanatic in the books either, so maybe deep faith isn't a prerequisite for being chosen as the saint. Strange, the person most fitting to be chosen by the Golden Bow is Elijah in my eyes. Yet he wasn't picked on his 18th birthday. Thinking about who should be the saint is pointless anyway. The Golden Bow chose me for whatever reason. That's it for now. That's all I wanted to ask for now. Thank you for talking to me. He smiles at me and I mirror his expression. We spend the rest of the day riding alongside each other in companionable silence. It's so easy to feel comfortable around Levi. When we set up camp for the night, I have no trouble falling asleep. For once, not worrying about whether or not I'll be able to defeat the Demon Queen. Soon we arrive at Barwood. From a distance we can already see the town burning. Demons of different terrifying shapes are flying above the rubble. We need to push through the ruins of the town to reach the castle up the hill. There is a strong probability the Demon Queen relocated here from Cloudman Castle. We need to determine whether or not she's really here now. And if she is, we need to prepare to face her. We all confirm and understand Noah's orders, then get into our formations. I take out the golden bow and hold it up and ready. We enter the town, immediately encountering demons. A devil blocks our path. He's a humanoid demon with a whip made of fire. He waves the weapon around in front of himself, making low guttural sounds. I swallowed hard. The fact that he's so human-like is unsettling. Demon Queen may look like a human as well, I remind myself. It's easier to kill demons with monster-like features, but far more difficult to hurt someone resembling another human. me at least, there's a difference in how much the deaths weigh on my soul. There's no time to hesitate though. We have to get past the demons to reach their queen and end this war once and for all. Advance? Noah gives the order. Our formations advance on the demons, engaging them in battle. Noah and Levi fight the devil in melee. A swarm of flying eyes appears above the devil. I aim the golden bow at the monsters and shoot. Patrice takes one of the eyes down with her water magic. Another devil appears in front of Noah and Levi. I aim the bow and shoot an arrow straight into the creature's chest. The demon falls down to the ground. Noah and Levi bring down the other devil. They gesture for us to advance into the town. I have no idea how long we continue to fight the demons before we finally reach the castle. An hour could have passed, or maybe 4. Time flows differently when you fight for your life. Terrified and tired, but the real battle hasn't even started yet. We regroup with the other formations in front of the castle gates. Not everyone has survived. My heart feels heavy thinking some of my companions have died. We're going inside. The gates to the castle courtyard are open as if welcoming us. We walk through the courtyard and open the heavy castle doors. We continue down the corridor. The place is so quiet that it's eerie. No more demons attacking us. Close enough. She wants us to come to her. I also think it's a trap. We have no choice but to proceed. We need to bring the demon queen down. Realize there's no way we can turn back now. Everyone is dead set on fighting the demon queen. I want to stop and tell everyone I don't feel ready. My palms are sweaty, my hands are shaking, my throat is dry. We're walking into a trap, and I feel like our death is near. We can't possibly die, though, can we? I've trained so hard to be ready for this moment. I look down at the golden bow. It won't betray me at such a pivotal moment, will it? Do my best to focus and push my fear aside. A few steps later, we enter the grand hall, which now serves as the throne room of the Demon Queen. There she sits on her throne, a smirk on her face. She's a beautiful woman, but she's unmistakably not fully human. Horns protrude from her head, and there's a third eye on her forehead. She swirls her long tail in the air. Her leathery wings flutter. She's as gorgeous as she is deadly.
You've arrived. I've been expecting you, Saintess.
Her voice is enchanting, pulling me toward her. There must be something magical about it. I would never want to come close to this monster of my own free will.
Get in formations.
There's no chance you just want to quietly die, is there? I would appreciate not having the chosen if the god of light in the way of my conquest.
You lying demon! You're ready to perish!
Go configure real quick. There's no audio. Oh, audio.
I wasn't talking to you.
It was just getting too quiet because of the music. She glares at Noah, forming a ball of pure dark energy in her hands. Noah commands everyone to take positions in advance. As Noah, Levi, and the other melee combatants run into the room, the door on the opposite side of the hall bursts open and a swarm of demons pours in. Take my spot at the back of the fight and ready the golden bow. I hesitate for a moment. If I kill the demon queen, will the other monsters stop fighting? It's worth a try, isn't it? I aim the golden bow at the demon queen's heart. Take a few deep breaths, doing what I can to steady myself. The demon queen notices I'm aiming the weapon at her. The confident, amused smirk returns to her face.
Let's have some fun, shall we?
I do my best to remember what Elijah told me about accessing the golden bow's light magic.
Don't fail me.
I try to gather the power in the arrow. The golden bow resists me.
Not now!
There's red magical energy gathering in the palm of the demon queen's hand. She's not looking at me, but at Levi. I welcome her being distracted. I'm as ready as I'll ever be. I let the arrow, imbued with light magic, fly at the demon queen. Just then, she releases the red bolt of magic in her hands at Levi. When she glances back in my direction, the arrow is almost out of her heart, but she suddenly waves her hand in the air and the arrow's magic disappears. It bounces off an invisible shield and clatters to the floor.
No!
Perish, you fiend!
Just then I noticed Levi running straight at me, pointing his 2 swords at my chest. There's an aura of red magic around him, and his eyes look so far away.
Be a good puppet and kill the Saintess for me.
No, Levi, don't!
He has feelings for you, beyond what's appropriate for a knight and his lady. Isn't it fun to use the one who loves you against you?
No! No!
I take a few steps back, but Levi, controlled by a Demon Queen's magic, moves more quickly than any normal human. He runs one of his swords straight through my stomach.
Celeste! Celeste! Oh, I've done this. Why?
Levi drops his swords and takes me into his arms. I'm dying. Life is slowly seeping out of me along with blood from the giant gushing wound in my stomach. Even so, I bring myself to comfort Levi.
You didn't mean to. It's the Demon Queen's magic.
I was too weak to resist her. It was all my fault.
I want to convince him he's innocent, but I have no strength to speak anymore. I can barely even breathe.
No. What have I done?
It hurts to speak. It hurts to move my head to look at him. It hurts to breathe. The Demon Queen's ominous laughter is the last thing I hear before I slip into the darkness. I'm in heaven again, the comforting cotton-like substance cocooning me. I lost the battle against the Demon Queen. I couldn't control the golden bow properly. And now the Lokari Empire will have to wait for another saint, if another one will even come at all. I'm not in physical pain anymore, but my heart aches from regret. The fight against the Demon Queen is no longer mine. I'm dead. I won't be able to save anyone. I miss Levi and the others. The heavenly sound interrupts the quiet again.
You must fight on.
The angelic voice is back. What do you mean? I'm dead! I can't... Ah! Before I can protest further, my soul gets pulled into the golden whirlpool again. Close my eyes, becoming dizzy like last time. When I open them again, I find myself in front of the golden bow in the chapel, my hands touching its cold surface. The pain from the bow's light magic entering my body is excruciating. I faint before I can even scream. As Celeste experienced, death is not the end of the Saintess's journey. Will you be able to rewrite her fate? Thank you for playing the Saintess of the Golden Bow demo. We will hit back, save it, just in case there is another update. But supposedly this is the last one. But will we be able to rewrite her fate? I don't know, but you can wishlist the game on Steam, and if the Kickstarter is still going when this goes up, I'm not sure how long that's going to be going, but you can check it out on Kickstarter. And thank you, Transparent Games, for the code to check out this demo. Definitely interested in, helping rewrite Celeste's fate here. We will see what happens. Thank you for watching again. If you enjoyed the video and this series for the, third time I've said thank you for watching the series, consider tossing a like, comment, subscribe, maybe click the bell for notifications. Also be sure to check out the description below. Various links, social media, Discord, come hang out, get notifications there as well. And until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!